Nerdrotic.com.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to the Nerdrotic Nooner. My name is Gary Beekler, and I am live in San Francisco, California. Let's bring that music down just a little bit. And I hope everyone is doing okay out there. As I said yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that. I have lost count. We have been, of days, I have been on lockdown. It's been since the 16th here. So I know some of you have just gone on it and some of you have been on it longer. And the key is not to panic still. In the great words of Douglas Adams. Cheers, everyone. And my dogs start barking right on time. Right on time. Let's see who's here. We got, we're going to talk about the latest in the crisis in multiple comic shops. We've got comic shops comic shop owners doing what comic shop owners do, which is trying to figure it out on their own, which is a good thing. That's probably the best course of action at this point because Marvel and DC and Hollywood and Diamond are not going to save you. They're going to do, the least they can do to help you because they need to maximize their profits and they've got to watch their own ass. And unfortunately, the comic book scene, which is not an industry, has been a placeholder for IPs and a script farm for Hollywood. It needs to go back to being a comic book industry. And I have great empathy, sympathy with any comic shop owner who agrees with me or who does not. I know that especially if this was your main source of income, your livelihood, how you fed your family, how you paid your bills, fear and confusion are probably all you know right now. And I have been there now not due to outside circumstances, it's very different circumstances. But there's got to be a point where you just got to do something on your own. There's one comic shop in Florida. I saw an article in Bleeding Cool who's trying to do something that I thought was pretty clever and funny. But yeah, we're going to go over his video. He says one thing that bugs me, but otherwise I completely agree with what he's doing. And that's the reason I started this channel. I started this podcast was to be something I could do with my comic shop, to have a platform with my comic shop. And that's what it'll be someday, but the platform is actually more important right now, but that's kind of the future. And I think this guy is doing auctions. He's doing live sales, which I don't know why every shop isn't doing right now. Diamond will ship your stuff, the backlog stuff, like, trades, stuff they have in their other warehouse, their Olive Branch warehouse, I believe. Yeah, it's Olive Branch. And they'll be able to get older product, and you can still sell stuff from home if you want to, and it's something. It's something. So I hope more do. I don't remember the guy's name, but we'll go over it when I get to the article. So let's see who's here. David G., Child of the Flower. Tony Garrett, Crackhead Jeremy. Oh, what's up? The Jarrett Army. Two-Tone, Spike in Madness. Booner Boyo, Darth Cerebus, Riding Sonic. There's a couple of ways we can take that. Brendan Lucas, thank you for the super chat. I will get to it. Zero Duality is a member. John Robertson. Michael Brent, how are you? William King, retracted message, but I still welcome you, even if you told me to F off. Alexander, which I don't think you did, but you might have. Tanim 07. M. Dastardly, what's up? And Punkstar. What's up, Punkster? And we're going to talk a little bit about punk rock and the whole punk rock attitude, because that's what that shop owner brings up. And I agree with that. You got to have a true punk rock attitude, not the fake poser punk rock that you see from the creatives at Marvel and DC because they dyed their hair and they thought that was punk rock. It's not. And yeah, we are going to talk about the toxic creatives one more time because some are trying to make peace now that they're going to have to come over to this platform and they're not going to be sheltered by a giant subsidiary of a giant billion-dollar corporation anymore. And yeah, how punk rock is that when you're abusing your fan base and you're paying customers while being protected, while being in the system, while being the system? I can't think of something that is more un-punk rock. It came from the Nerd Cave. Welcome. And Lady Gravemaster, welcome. Thank you for bringing your wrench. Selma Brinks, Perfect Cell. Now, we're going to announce a winner at the... we have a winner. We do have a winner. Now, I need to contact the winner, but we have a winner. And it is verified. It is a verified business that is still in business. I had over 20 responses from comic shops. Every single one of them was nice. They don't necessarily have to. They don't have to agree with me, or like what I do here. That's like I said. There are no strings attached. You could loathe me. I don't care. I want your shop to stay in business. I do. I want your customers to be respected, and I want the industry to still be around and to improve. It needs to improve when it comes back. When things come back online, it can't be the same old, same old. Diamond's going to have to restructure how they do things. Marvel and DC are going to have to restructure a lot. There could be no 5Gs or snowflakes and safe space and new warriors and none of these crap books anymore. And yes, I bought a copy of Gotham High. I'm going to read it later. But I've been reviewing Star Trek Picard for the last 4 or 5 days now, trying to get that review done. And it's just that there's only so much I can take. There's only so much I can take. But honestly, Gotham High by itself in a vacuum, whatever. It's an alternate reality. It is damaging to the brand of Batman. They don't understand that. DC doesn't understand that. They don't care when they do crap like that. And sorry, folks. We've got all of these groups I'm in chirping right now. And it does do damage. And it also, it dilutes the market. And we need to, Marvel and DC need to produce less comics, maybe make them more expensive, but maybe make them better. Higher quality comics, get higher quality talent coming in. And yeah, I would say less is more. And if you want to keep the price of comics up, then you make a good comic every time. None of this filler, and most of it is. I'm going to show you a picture of my new release rack, half of it in a little bit from my shop from 5-6 years ago. And most of the shops I've been in now, their new release rack is greatly reduced. But mine used to be the original Wall of Wonder. It used to be an entire wall in my store. But so much of it was just filler. Filler. I don't want to call it utter crap, but it wasn't anything that was going to entertain anybody for more than a few minutes. And it was just, pump out as much as we can to keep those numbers up, to keep those fake numbers up. There's so much. There's so much. What's the word I'm looking for? This industry has been propped up by so much shenanigans and tomfoolery. I don't even have a word for it. It's been propped up by variant copies, which have gotten to ridiculous levels. I remember when it was a couple, 3 here. Now, I wasn't selling comics in the 90s. I was buying them. So I don't know how bad it was for the retailers in the 90s, but I know I was there from 2003 to 2013, and it was getting to 1 in 600 variants. And I was buying them, and people were coming in and buying them. Yeah, but I had to be a dick and charge cost for that. The cost for however many comics it cost to buy that variant. And I didn't do retail. I did cost. So yeah, it was an expensive book. That's fleecing your customer. Even though there is somebody with the desire to buy it, it's still fleecing your customer because that variant is not going to be worth a lot of money. There's too many variants. And this is what happened to the baseball card industry. Now, people love comics. They do. That's why it's lasted this long. But let's get to Bleeding Cool here. And I welcome everybody again. Thanks for showing up. My coffee's still kicking in here. I hate bringing up Bleeding Cool. That's my winner right there. And I don't want to show that. Here we go. We're also going to talk about Doctor Who a little bit later. Stephen Moffat has penned a script for the 13th Doctor. Ed 2 Moffat. He sold out. It's weird. Moffat it'll seem like he's a little R.I.P. Doctor Who, but then he'll do the other thing. So I think he tries to push the boundaries as much as he can until the BBC reels him back in, and then he pens a 13th Doctor script. Or maybe he's just trolling everybody, which I will consider that possibility. Here we go. A comic shop cancels midlife crisis for comics industry, and we're gonna listen to this guy's video. Make sure I've got the right setting there. All right. While people are coming in, we'll go over this. All right. A couple of weeks ago, as he was going through Diamond Comics Book's final new comics deliveries, comic book retailer Aaron Halland of a comic shop in Orlando, Florida, put out a rallying cry. He stated that he was willing to take any new comics from any publishers or creators still out there who wanted to send them and sell them to him. Since then, he has been running live shows and live sales from his store and encouraging other stores to do the same. The direct market was built by retailers. We are a bottom-up industry. This is who we are. This is punk rock. Punk's not dead. It's kind of dead, but I get the sentiment. Comics are not dead. No, they're not. It was never really about the comics. It's about you. They care about you. I'm sure you do, Aaron. I have no doubt that you care about the customer, and I'm sure there's a lot of creatives at Marvel and DC who care about the customer, but there are a lot who do not, and they don't care about your customer. That's the most important part. As I've said before, I don't care what your politics are. I don't care that you have views. It's how you publicly state those views and how you publicly state those views towards customers. And it's okay to have these views. I don't care. I don't care. I don't think it's good for business, but I don't care. But when you start calling large portions of the fandoms the bad guys from Germany, people tend to remember that. People tend to hold that grudge for life. But let's listen to Aaron here. his walls are painted a very familiar color there. All right, here we go. I want to make sure you guys can hear this. Yeah, you should be able to hear this.
Hey comics fandom, it's me Aaron from a comic shop, and I'm here live in a comic shop doing the last pull from Diamond Comics for the foreseeable future. But like, what does foreseeable future even mean anymore? That means like until like we get another email next week that contradicts everything. But anyway, this is the last pull from Diamond. That is crucial that you hear me with that, because we are working to get new books from any publisher that's willing to ship us new books. Our pipeline is open. We can reorder from Diamond's Olive Branch any book that came out today or earlier that's still in stock. All those graphic novels, everything. We've been doing live shows. We shipped out so many packages. We're going to be doing live shows all week. I encourage you guys to do that too. We need to sell our old product. There's so many good things that people haven't read, and it's new to you if you haven't read it. So we need to get together. We need to work with the publishers that can still push stuff to us. We need to sell our back issues. Fans, pick up your books from this week if you can. Go live and listen. The direct market was built by retailers. We are a bottom-up industry. We are not a top-down industry. We're grassroots. This is who we are. I'm effing punk rock. If you ask my 5 friends from high school, they would all tell you that I was effing punk rock, you know? And punk's not dead. Comics not dead. This is, if you're an entrepreneur, comic shop owner, you're punk rock. You can do this. You can get in your store. You can see what you can do. And if you're completely sheltered in place, I feel for you. Really, I do. Because obviously I do. That's like my biggest fear right now. So if I can provide for my family or not in these next coming times, that's my big fear. But guess what? It was never really about the comics, guys. If it was only about the comics, they'd be reading digital. They'd be getting mail order. It's about you, dude. It's about you, okay? Like, the comics are what they enjoy, but what they really enjoy, if they're coming to you and your comic shop, is talking to you about the comics. They care about you. I know you care about your customers. Go live on your page. Go live and talk to them. Go live and engage. Tell them about how you're feeling, what your fears are, what they can do to help. See, maybe we can come up with some things together. So publishers, creators, anyone can get anything to us at 114 South Cimarron, Winter Park, 32792. We will sell it on consignment, and we will pay you if it sells. We will be live. We are having limited hours, and we're going to kick some ass. If you're me, 40 is a new 20s. Because in the 20s, you're like, yo, I gotta make some. Oh, this life is scary. What do I do? Well, now life's scary for 40-year-olds. We don't know how it works. So, all midlife crises have been canceled. Mine's canceled. They're all canceled. This rut the entire industry has been in is canceled. All this toxic fandom, canceled.
Okay. Aaron, you were good right up until then, buddy. That toxic fandom, when you say words like that, comic industry, comic shop owners, that phrase has been attributed to a lot of fans who are completely innocent. Completely innocent. There is no such thing as toxic fandom. Aaron should know that. There are individuals who are a-holes in every walk of life. But that blanket statement just needs to be tabled, especially now, because the people using it are the most toxic people in this industry, Aaron. So I agree with you up until then. I do. It is kind of a punk rock industry. You need to take your fate into your own hands right now. But he did acknowledge that it's been in trouble for a while. Why? Because of the creatives attacking tens of thousands of fans unintentionally. I don't think they intentionally went out to, I think they were just talking out each side of their mouth without really thinking of the consequences. As a matter of fact, that's what I know they were doing. And they hurt you, Aaron. They hurt every comic shop owner, even the ones who agree, even with that Wellman dude from Atomic Basement comic. They hurt him too, but he decided to direct his anger towards another creative who's out of the industry, the system industry.
It's canceled. That's the cancel culture. It's canceled. It's about loving comics. It's about loving these stories. It's about loving the creators. It's about loving each other. Let's enjoy some comics together, guys. Your midlife crisis is canceled. Right now, it's...
How about loving some fans? How about loving your customers? I know you're showing love to your customers, but that has to come before creators.
The Dark Phoenix, right? Sure, this virus is a Dark Phoenix, right? Right now, it's an infinite crisis. It's a crisis on multiple levels and multiple fronts. It's a worldwide infinite freaking crisis of the earth, right? But yes, we can emerge post-crisis and reboot this industry post-crisis from the ground up. From the ground up, because we are power bottoms. We have power from the bottom. We are totally power bottoms, and we will rebuild this industry. We will relaunch it when things come back online in full force, and we will celebrate it with Free Comic Book Day. I actually have some freaking free comic books already. Look, I got Defend Comics. It's our time. Let's defend comics. Let's do it together. And we will be live on this page at 8 p.m. Slinging Comics. Join us. Thanks. Bye-bye. Hey, comics fan.
All right. So, hey, he's trying to do something. He's trying to think out of the box. But I want to try to let you all know, like, the mindset. I mean, listen, we're all individuals, but if I was still selling comics today, I'd be in fear. And you're caught up in the industry. You know, it's been enlightening to step away from it after I lived and breathed it for 10 years straight of my life. Like every waking moment of my life was the comic shop. It's like having another kid. So you are caught up in that industry and you will defend it with your life. And like I made the analogy yesterday, you'll be fighting tooth and nail with your brother or sister, but if somebody else talks shit about them, you'll both go after them. But then, you know, when they're done, you'll go back to arguing with each other constantly because you hate each other. So that's the comic book industry right now. Okay. So I understand he's worried about his livelihood. I would be too, because we don't have a lot of time for the comic book industry, because the longer things go, we're going to start worrying about like really, really important stuff. And I know there's bigger stuff out there, but I have been focusing on just what I know. And we try to keep it light here, and, you know, maybe bringing some attention to the comic book industry to where maybe they can get some help from people, or more importantly, the giant billion-dollar corporations that can probably, you know, I don't want to tell anybody how to spend their money, not an individual, but, you know, if they want to help them, they might need to come together and help them. There hasn't been a plan. There is no plan. There's been plans for plans. There has been offers, but there's no solid plan. We don't have the retailers sitting down with Diamond, sitting down with Marvel, DC, every publisher. There's no effing plan right now. There's Diamond dictating stuff. There's Marvel offering discounts on comics they can't sell. There's DC offering $250,000 to shop, which is great, but if you divide it amongst the shops, it's nothing. And yeah, and we got Jim Lee, instead of being the publisher for DC, you know, doing what he does best, sketching and offering it up, which is great. But we need Jim Lee developing a plan, being a leader. That's what we need. And the clock is ticking. It's probably too late. It's probably too late. And, you know, I have no idea when this thing's going to get lifted. I don't. I've heard two completely different things from two pretty reliable sources. And one is a long way off and one is not that long off, but long still. And I don't even want to stay it here. I talked to my sponsor yesterday. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and addict. And my sponsor is a doctor. So, yeah, the comic shops don't have much time. So I completely agree with him. If you don't have a YouTube channel, start one right now. And you can use Restream or something where you can stream live on freaking Twitch, DLive, Facebook, and YouTube all at the same time. And you know what? Fire it up and start talking to your customers. Have a little live stream with your customers. If you've got their emails, send out an email and get it going. And if you're a comic shop owner, you can do what I'm doing right now, because that's essentially what this is. You're just BSing all day about comic books. That's all it is. So I would recommend doing that. It might help. It gets a revenue stream, or at least you're doing something. Okay? At least it's doing something. Because Marvel and DC are thinking about saving their own asses right now. The comic book creators that we're supposed to love, and listen, I like a lot of them. I do. I have no problem with the majority. But the thing is, the majority has been very silent to the few who have been extremely toxic towards a lot of the fans. And I'm so goddamn sick of seeing this. And I've seen it with Doctor Who, Star Trek, Star Wars, and in comics. And it's basically the talent versus the paying customer. And the talent's going to lose every time. Eventually. You might get a few thousand likes on your massive Twitter account, but you do not see the damage. I would probably say that as many people that like your tweets when you go after toxic fandom, just consider that same amount of people were completely turned off by you. Imagine if there was a dislike button on Twitter. Take a look at the new Warriors trailer, which had 200,000 dislikes. That is 200,000 people Donny Cates thinks are bigots. Bigots. You know what's bigotry? Keeping people out of an industry based on their political beliefs. That's bigotry. That's bigotry. And, there's a point where the customer's just going to walk away. Apathy will set in. I'm there with Star Wars. Like, Star Wars can pump out the best Mandalorian season in the world, and I don't care. I'm glad if people are going to enjoy it. It could be a hard R Robert Rodriguez bloodfest, and I still wouldn't care, because it takes place in a world I don't care about, because the people who have been running Disney Star Wars, have been vile towards the fandom. Vile. So, you know what? The explains and the theories and the beige orders of the world can have it. It's all yours. It's all yours. I won't be saying another word about it other than chronicling its demise. So I truly love comics. I think they can be better. There are some good comics out there. Hashtag not all. I understand that. But the industry fundamentally has to change. You have to change your narrative within the books. You have to change your narrative in your personal life. And, one of gratitude. Again, we're not saying write pro Orange Man comics. I don't even think Orange Man fans. Matter of fact, that's what I hear the most. The Orange Man fans say, hey, we don't want pro Orange Man comics. We just want comics we can all read and enjoy. I don't think that's a bad position to take, honestly. And that's why YouTube channels have been growing, because people don't have a place to go to speak their mind about anything. Because, like I said, political correctness, social tyranny. And Marvel Comics, in particular, has been a vehicle for propaganda and political correctness. And if you see some of the people who are behind all this in management, you see that they have political ties. So, I mean, you can get conspiratorial about it, but the evidence, the anecdotal evidence out there is pretty, I don't know, it's convincing. Convincing. But I'm happy to be here with you guys. And I'm happy to give, I wish I could help every single one of them, man. That was tough. I didn't think it would be that tough, but I'm glad I didn't read the emails before the show. I did it last night, and it got my mind racing, and I was up till 2 a.m. And I was just like, I didn't think about that part. I didn't even think about that part, to be honest with you. I just wanted to help, and I didn't think about all the stories I would hear from all the people I couldn't help. And I wish I, I'll see if I can do a little something for every one of them. I don't know. I'd be happy. I got to get their permission, but I would be more than happy to shout out their shops. So I'm going to respond to each one of them, and if they want, I mean, like it's something. I don't have the biggest reach in the world, but maybe I can every live stream just shout out a couple shops. Maybe throw up their website. I'd be happy to do that. I'd be absolutely happy to do that. So anything I can do to help, and there's a lot of great people in the chat who will shout that out on Twitter and stuff, and get the word out on your shop. But start a channel today. I think it could only help. And I can't imagine too many shop owners being shy. I just can't. Not these days. Not these days. Let's get to you guys a little bit. And again, the winner will be announced a little later in the show. And yeah. And I don't want to say too much on that. Never mind. Check yourself. And yes, I will. If there's time today, I still might do a video on this, but we'll have a little fun with a What Culture video. We'll go through a What Culture video. Hail G, opinion on our Bakshi's 1977 Wizards. Bad timing? Probably bad timing. Well, anything going against Star Wars is bad timing. Alcoholic for $3 from Canadian, but I liked it. I like all that stuff. I love it. Yesterday, I can't believe I missed this, but yesterday was the 20th anniversary of the first teaser trailer for Lord of the Rings. April 7th, 2000. It's been 20 years. Man. So I'm sure everybody has heard about that Donny Cates phone call to EVS. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. I listened to it again because I listened to Zach's opinion on the video, which I don't really agree with at all. Sorry, Zach. I love Zach, but his assessment on that, Now, I don't know all the ins and outs of the industry. I know exactly one artist who has his views on things, but doesn't dust it up with fans. Okay, so he is just out of this. He's not something we're going to bring into the culture war. He's got political views that differ from mine in some aspects, and he can have them. I love the guy like a brother. So but I know one. That's it. I met Ben Templesmith a little bit, but I only know one. So I don't know the ins and outs. I only know what I hear from fans. So I remember hearing of the Mark Waid punching the wall incident when it happened years ago. I remember EVS, the whole portfolio controversy. I remember hearing about that, just from the fan perspective. So I don't know the ins and outs that an artist does, but I do know that it's been exposed through the last few years that these artists here, I don't need to have these on. These artists have colluded to keep fans out, colluded with comic shops. Comic shops, if you did that, shame on you. You don't understand. You flat out don't understand. You're listening to the rhetoric that is out there. That it's just flat out rhetoric. Are there bad people in a movement or a group or a loosely associated set of fans who decide to use a hashtag? Of course there are. Do those 2 or 3 people define the other individuals in that group? No. And that's where things need to stop. And that's it. Because it leads to threats of violence and thousands of fans walking away without saying a word. Your industry has shrunk. It was going to collapse anyway. And I know every comic shop owner out there doesn't believe that. Because you don't want to believe it. Of course not. Why would you want to believe that? That's your livelihood. It's a scary thought. But sometimes you need to face Scary thoughts. I don't know if I would at the time. I honestly don't, because I was caught up in the comic book industry. But now that I've stepped away from it, you can see it with a fresh pair of eyes. Holy shit. Did it get bad? I mean, look at the comics that are coming out. They're pathetically sad. And even the good ones are, I know some people are loving Jason Aaron's X-Men. I was halfway tempted to buy it, and then I heard what they were doing. I was like, no thanks. No thanks. I'm fine. I'm good not reading any new comics. And I'm sticking with that. When I open my store, would I love to carry new comics? Sure. But not this stuff. It's not even worth it. It's not even close to being worth it. And I don't want to do business with Diamond. So if I was to come back, I would not want to be on this weekly thing with Diamond. Honestly, when I bought my comic book shop, I had run an auto shop before. So I had managed an auto shop. So that was the entirety of my managerial experience. But I also was a bit of a dope dealer back in the day. And honestly, I used my experience doing that, mixed with my experience working at record stores, to run the comic shop. And it actually worked. You don't get hooked on your own product, stuff like that. You got to stop collecting. And I wasn't great at that, I'll be honest with you. But I wouldn't want to be on that weekly kick with Diamond anymore. That sucks. Just thinking about it sucks. Staying up till 2 or 3 in the morning, Tuesday night, filling my new release books, knowing that 3 weeks later, I'm going to pull a long box worth of comics off that shelf of unsold material, even though I am ordering bare minimums of titles. And once every 3 weeks, I was still pulling off a long box of unsold material that would go right into a dollar bin where people still wouldn't buy it. Still wouldn't buy it. And that was happening in the good times. So no, I don't, God no. Hell no. I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to go back to working with Diamond again. That was a miserable experience. It turned into a miserable experience. It took something I loved my entire life, and I hated it by the time I was done. The whole business of it, I just hated it. And it sucked because I loved the customer part of it. When they're walking in the door, we say hello, we bullshit for 2 hours, watch a little Doctor Who, alphabetizing comics. I love bagging and boarding comics. I love alphabetizing comics. I usually get caught up. I have yet to be able to alphabetize a box without reading at least 3 comic books. It always takes me forever because I stop and I go, ooh, and I read the comic book. Yeah. I love that shit. It's my favorite part of the job. My least favorite part was ordering and pulling those unsold new releases off the new release wall. That sucked. I'll show you my new release wall. Oh yeah, I got a picture. I think I got a picture right here. The background stuff's my Google Drive. That's where I put all my thumbnails. So this is half my new release wall. That picture was taken in 2012. And above it, I had all the Dynamic Forces and Sideshow 1-in-1 head scale busts. So it kind of looked like, Craven the Hunter's mantelpiece. And he, slayed all the superheroes and cut their heads off. And damn, I wish I still had that Crow one right there. Yes, the Batgirl is a mannequin, one of my wife's mannequin that I just bought a wig for and threw a shirt on. And above it, you can see I had Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 600 displayed in my store, including Amazing Fantasy 15. And you can see the bottom portion of it right there. That was from my personal collection. And I would change it out every few months. Yeah, so that was the new release rack. That's half of what I sold. I couldn't do that today Couldn't even come close to that today. And I would pull a long box, sometimes a long box and a half off that. And I got pretty good at ordering. It's just, keeping up with it was tough. So something would have to change. Diamond, I don't know what the answer is. Once a month, every couple of months, or once a week, greatly reducing your titles. Not producing 100 titles a month. Maybe 40. And if you're going to do that, then you have to, like every comic book, when you come back, just off the top of my head, not knowing, again, out of the industry for 6 years, just off the top of my head, if you're going to come back, Marvel and DC, all your books got to be $250 to $299. I would print them on cheaper paper. I would seriously just no fracking weekly or bi-weekly titles. Get rid of those completely. And then after that, anything that sells under what? 30,000? Cancel it. Flat out cancel it. That's freaking charity. I don't even know. I mean, yeah, it all adds up, but that's charity. And that's for Marvel and DC. I know IDW and Dark Horse can't do that. You treat that differently. Dark Horse has a great model, honestly. They don't overproduce titles. They try to be as high as quality as possible. Dark Horse is a good company. But with Marvel and DC, yeah, $250, $299 for the foreseeable future. Oh, all returnable books. Everything's 100% returnable for the time being. Or you're not going to have comic shops. They're not going to do it, and you're not going to have comic shops. Again, some are going to survive this, depending on when things open back up. I've heard a month from now. I've heard 6 months from now. I don't know what to believe. Not the mainstream media. But they need to be cheaper. They need to be cheaper. They need to be returnable. Speaking of that, we're going to have Peter Simeti on the show tomorrow. Peter Simeti will be the publisher of Alterna. He likes to stir it up a little bit. He has been... some pretty horrific things have happened to him for just wanting to sell comics and being willing to listen to everybody. And he has been completely vilified. Robert Levito sends a bunch of unicorns. Thank you. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 phallic symbols, 10 nerdicorns. Thank you very much. Huron the Steadfast for 20 Canadian dollars, and he just gives a donation. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see. If time goes on, I will try to, I'll see if I can make another offer like I made. I'll see if I can do another one. Again, I am not a rich person. I am a thousandaire. Very middle class. Yes, I live in a very expensive city, but I've lived here for a very long time, and I bought in when it was not as expensive, and I don't go out very much. My wife owns a salon, which is currently shut down right now, has been for weeks, and frankly, that was our main source of income. So, but we're doing okay. We're doing okay. Not complaining, doing better than a lot of people out there. But yeah, just so you know, $1,000. I mean, it's a lot of money, and I'm glad I was able to help a shop. I just want to make it very clear. I don't just like have it in my pocket to throw out there. It's like nothing to me. No, it's a lot of money, but I'm happy to do it, and I'm fortunate enough right now to be able to help. And I would like to do it again. And I probably will. Listen, it'll pay a power bill. It'll pay your water bill, your internet. That could probably pay all three. And a little bit of your rent, something. The New Warriors answers the TP shortage, says Dana Smarts for £1.99. It does. But would you really want to infect your bottom with some safe space and Snowflake? Was it Cecil who, what was the, oh, it was Safe Word. Safe Word. Did somebody come up with Power Bottom yet as a superhero? Power Bottom and Safe Word. Cecil came up with Safe Word. So hit him up for what that looked like. It was pretty funny. Arthurn Zala for $10. Stopped watching Star Trek Picard after the Riker Troy episode. Too depressing to watch after seeing them with Picard, showing how good a reunion show could have been. Riker was the only one that seemed in character. Yep. So they bring Troy and Riker back, and what do? They saddle him with a dead kid. I shit you not. Alex Kurtzman said, I wanted to have everybody in a really bad place in this, kind of to reflect the times we're in right now, and which it does reflect the times that Star Trek fans are in, because they're in a real bad place because of you, Alex Kurtzman. But his $25 million he got to screw up Star Trek, I'm sure it spends just fine. But yes, I just wanted to make sure everybody was broken, and I wanted to be a reflection of our times. Yes. I wonder if Alex Kurtzman, laughs. And not, in cynicism. I wonder if he's got a sense of humor. Probably not. Scottish Nerd for £1.49. Thank you for the unicorn. For the nerdicorn, Scottish Nerd. Hail. Oh my God. Sakyasana for $5. Memology posted a new video about the milkshake fake geek girl #1 Heather Antos. Yes, I did see it. She is back in the news. Heather Antos was the poster child for SJW Marvel. She is a poser. She's vile. She's toxic. And she's not employed right now, so it's okay. She is the editor-in-chief at Valiant Comics, which only exists to sell scripts to Hollywood. Bloodshot did not do very well at all, and now their pencils are down, so she has a lot of time to self-reflect. And what does she do? She says that America has the worst fans. America, America, a country that she's able to get a job editing comics. When I hear she is terrible at her job, sleeping at her desk at Marvel, and she was shown the door at Marvel eventually. Captain Cankles is a member at the Jaloja level. Welcome, Captain Cankles. Stephanie Littlepage for $1.49. Thank you for the nerdicorn. I appreciate it. Nola Nerd for $2. My first super chat to you and the channel. Love the show, Nola Nerd. I promise to be gentle. Thank you. Thank you very much. And yes, I got a $500 super chat yesterday. I asked him to email me. Michael, I asked him to email me because I have a care package I would like to send him for that. Tit for tat, buddy. And yeah, that was amazing and crazy. Nomad Nation. For argument, and thank you, Nola. I really appreciate it. $2. Especially now, I'm nothing but grateful for you guys. You hear that, comic shop owners? It's not hard. Maybe I should do a video on how to make a gratitude list. I'll do it on Nerdrotic Live, and the comic book writers, Gail Simones, Dan Slott, I'll teach them how to write a gratitude list. It's something I had to do when I was a miserable sod. Some might say I still am. I hear you out there. Not happy as can be, considering the circumstances. Nomad Nation for £10. For argument's sake, let's say Doctor Who is redeemable. What, in your opinion, are the things they would have to do? Personally, I think a retcon all the way back to Matt Smith's regeneration is needed. Yes, it would be something they would never be willing to do. Not even somebody who dislikes this era because they don't want to disrespect a fellow creative, but they would need to do that. I think the best we can hope for is they completely forget about the Timeless Child and never bring it up again and just ghost it. Kind of like they did the hmmmmm Daleks. but it's there. It's there. I don't think it's redeemable. They're trying. Oh my God, they are trying. They're using every opportunity. They do not understand. People don't care. But the reason they're trying so hard, the reason you're seeing the BBC and the creatives moving, because instant data came in that people are pissed. They're rejecting this. Just like with Marvel Comics, just like with Star Wars, just like CBS is knowing this with Star Trek right now. People are rejecting this stuff outright. They're not even playing anymore. They're like, I'm fucking done. I'm walking away. And I'm hearing, well, Doctor Who merchandise, we don't know if we're going to see anymore. We honestly don't know. It's in a tough spot right now. I've said too much, but yeah. Nomad Nation, everything's redeemable. Absolutely everything. It just depends on how they do it, but they would have to do something so drastic. I just can't see them doing it. Brendan Lucas for £2. Woke equals using perceived victimhood to victimize others. Absolutely. Absolutely. You just take a vanity cause and you attach yourself to it to shame others. Wow. As an individual, if any of those groups, if I was in any of those groups, I'd be pissed. And you know what? A lot of people are. I hear it every day in either DMs or somebody adding me on Twitter or writing here or an email. I hear it. I'm part of the alphabet group. I hate this shit. And then they use that member to call you a bigot or something much worse. You know, that's the drill. More and more people are becoming aware of it. And that's one of the biggest things is the normies have been out there making the world go around, going to their jobs, raising their families. They don't have time to pay attention to this culture war bullshit. And now they do. And this is before the thing happening. And again, Terminator Dark Fate was the snowflake and safe space of the movie industry. And it was flat out rejected. And it was that woke of a movie. It's absolutely woke to its core, to its absolute core. Birds of Prey, not so woke, but still woke. And the funniest part about that, this part that never gets old, is it's a female empowerment movie directed by a female who had to get a man to direct the action scenes. That's the best part of the movie. That's terrible. Oh my God. And she wants a sequel. Is she gonna learn how to direct action scenes? Oh, just wanted to buy you and the missus a coffee, says Which Mrs. Who for $9.99. Well, thank you, Which Mrs. Who. I appreciate that, and I will use it towards that. Huge Anus is here for $1.49, and he sends me a big hot dog. Well, I don't know how the hell to take that, to be honest with you. Not too sure how to take that. I could say something like, I like hot dogs, but then it would just be taken the wrong way. But I like hot dogs. I do. Nicholas Horton is a member at the Jaloja level. Hail, Nicholas Horton, longtime friend, supporter of the channel for ages. Huge Doctor Who fan. And yes, we will be talking about that a little bit later. TC the Mandalorian. How about comic shop main / gun range / gentleman's club? Yes. Yeah, I would try anything right now. I know a lot of shops are doing the gaming thing and it makes them money and bless them for it. I don't know if I could do that. I would have to have somebody running it. Maybe if my oldest son would run, maybe if somebody or an employee running it, sure. Absolutely. I wouldn't want to run stuff like that though. I would do other stuff, but sure. What comic shop in Florida? Inquiring minds want to know. A comic shop, Stephanie Littlepage. He's a well-known comic shop. I probably have met him. I've definitely seen his shop at a con. I know I've heard of it. I absolutely know I've heard of it. And maybe I've met him at a retailer summit. I don't remember. It's been many years. But it's called A Comic Shop. Eldridge Thrust Lord is a member at the proto-molecule level. Welcome. Welcome, my friend. Thank you. The Great Mark C for $5. Saddens me. I think Alan Burnett as publisher and Bruce Timm as editor-in-chief could bring DC Comics to glory. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that at all. I wouldn't argue with that at all. Bruce Timm or Paul Dini. Or both of them. But that's not what we're going to get, Mark. We're going to get some kid out of college, probably a young lady, who just like who runs their marketing department. The woman who runs the WB marketing department doesn't know anything about marketing films or anything nerdy. I'm sure there is a woman out there who does. I don't know why they don't hire the women who have knowledge, because there's thousands, hundreds, who knows, as many as dudes. But they hire somebody's niece, and that's the way it goes. The Warner Brothers marketing department is ridiculously bad because they have better content right now. I think they could absolutely overtake Marvel with their movies and everything. I think people are getting a little tired of Marvel, and DC can offer them something new and different. And I don't know why they're not jumping on that. But instead, Wonder Woman, I hope I hope Wonder Woman's good. I want it to be good. I like Gal Gadot. I don't want her to sing to me, but I want her to play Wonder Woman. Dwight Schmitz is a member at the proto-molecule level. Welcome. Right on. Welcome. Grumpy Woman from the North for 400 rubles. Hi, Gary. Health to you and your family. Health to you. Thank you. 2 quick mentions. Did you watch The Future Man? 3rd season has recently come out, and how do I find reviews for the early episodes of the Orville? Do they not exist, or am I looking badly? No, I didn't start reviewing it until episode 5. Or no, late. I think it was late. Yeah, there's no early episodes. There is a episode 1 review on Nerdrotic Live, I believe. But there are no early episode reviews. I guess I could do those on Nerdrotic Live. I would be happy to do those. Maybe I should. Seth and Tom Constantino have been pretty nice to me. They've been really nice to me, and they've been really nice to the fans. So, and you know what? They've never asked me to change my ways. Not once. God bless them. Zero Dual, and you know what? Props to Audacity, who didn't ask me to change a damn thing either. If I so choose to go with them. So props to them. Because that's the only way I would ever take a sponsor or allow somebody to come on the show and do an interview. They would have to be okay with me asking questions and me being me. I won't be a dick. I'll try. I won't go out of my way to be a dick. Gary, just like Doom's Rooster, you're breathtaking. Zero Duality for $2 Canadian. Doom's cock. Bless Az. Az, how are you? By the way, tomorrow there will be an announcement for for Friday Night Tights, whether it stays at 5 p.m. or moves up in time so we can accommodate more Brits. Now the Brits, they've made themselves known. They want it earlier. So I got to listen to my Brits. Mark Hacklin is a member at the proto-molecule level. Welcome, Mark. Thank you. We will do a member stream later today. Grant Kelbrick. What's up, Grant, from South Africa? Hey, Gary, you're an awesome man. Thanks for all you do, and may you and your family be healthy, safe, and blessed. Love you, man. Love you, too. Same to you and yours. Same to everyone's. I hope you're all, even the people who don't like me, I hope you are safe. Hope your family is safe, and we'll all come out of this, and we can go back to what we were doing, or maybe not. Comic industry can't. Hollywood can't. We got a little news on AMC. So their credit was downgraded. They are going to file for bankruptcy any day now, and it might help. It might not. I think it'll probably be a lot like the Warehouse Records. If you remember them, they were in bankruptcy for like 4 years until they finally went under. That's what AMC will probably have to do. And as far as bailouts, folks, all these companies have, and you know this, have they have laws that can protect them. They can file for bankruptcy and it can help them. Bankruptcy doesn't necessarily mean you're going out of business. Matthias Hernandino for $2. Hail the Fandom Menace. Hail Comicsgate. There you go. Hail them both. There's a lot of cross-pollination there, and sometimes there isn't. Final film comment, but hail Matthias. I appreciate it. $5. Hey man, could you check my buddy's film trailer type Trans Chato teaser trailer on YouTube? He worked really, really hard to make it. It's less than 30 seconds. Final film cut. I will take a look at it and maybe we can look at it later in the show. Certainly. As long as everything's up to snuff, but I got to peek at it first. I got to make sure there's no copyright music in it or they don't show any boobs or anything like that. You know how it goes. But thanks. I'd be happy to. Max Santiago for $2. Aaron is a good guy, really good-hearted. Yeah, he seems fun. You know what? And that's why Toxic Fandom, it's not his fault. That's what he's been hearing. That's what he's been hearing from CBR, Bleeding Cool, all of the outlets that are in his world. I don't know if he watches YouTube. I probably not. A lot of shop owners are very busy. So from sources that they have been trusting for years and years and years have been telling them that there's a large group of fandom out there that are a bunch of Yahtzees and they're evil and they have been, that's a lie. It's a flat out lie. None of these articles say, well, it's just a few of them that are really, really bad and we don't want to confuse them with others. We don't want to paint with a broad brush. We want the people on the right to buy comic books too. No, it's everybody on the right's the devil. And that, you know what? And when those trolls say that, and then, for example, there's a one particular troll who will not be named, was wished a happy birthday by Joe Quesada. When Joe Quesada does that, he knows exactly what he's doing. And he's legitimizing that troll, which legitimizes what she says from the system, which is Marvel, Disney, AT&T, Warner Brothers. They are the system. And when he does that, then he just legitimized her calling an completely innocent fan, paying customer, a Yahtzee, an ist, a phobe. And it snowballs and it snowballs and it snowballs till it becomes the truth for a lot of people in their heads. And all of a sudden, they think they're drawing comic books for justice. I'm saving lives by drawing my funny book. And you know what? There's a lot of arrested development in the comic book industry. Okay, guilty as charged. I understand that. There's a lot of neurotic people in the comic book industry. Check the name of this channel. My tagline for my comic shop was the Comic Outpost. We have issues. Yeah, it's a crazy industry filled with a bunch of crazy people, but they don't need to be evil. But they wanted to choose sides and it had a horrible effect. And you weren't getting the truth from your CBRs, from the Bleeding Cools of the world. So it's up to the comic shop owner to find it. And that's what I did. But that was only when I stepped out of the industry. Again, I had to look at it from a fresh pair of eyes, an outside perspective. And whoa, this thing is so massively effed up in so many ways that I didn't recognize. I knew it was bad. But when you step away and you see it, you're like, I don't even know how this thing survives. BB Meyer for 10 Rons. Hear that, Gary? Go live and talk to your fans. Yes, I did hear that. And I think that's a great idea. I think it is. I wish him well. That's why I played the video. I hope people go watch his thing tonight. Tell him I sent you. And I hope maybe I'll check it out. Maybe I'll buy a comic or something like that. TC the Mandalorian for £2. Reeks of desperation. Last call. Can't land a BBW. There is, yes, they're desperate. I don't want to minimize that though. I mean, like, I've gotten a couple of salty emails, folks, from comic shop owners who basically tell me to F off and they don't want my help. And I just respond back, thanks for watching. You're getting my help anyway. But people are scared. They're scared. So I'm not going to get mad at them. I mean, listen, some of them are responsible for this. Absolutely. And you as a paying customer who feel disrespected, you have every right to feel that way. And I got your back no matter what. I do. But yeah, they're desperate. A lot of people are. So I just want to help them right now. And hopefully there won't be any, was it Mike Wellman, the guy who threatened EVS with violence? Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need that. But that comes from hearing Rich Johnston and other people call Ethan and other people, all of these names for years. There is a way out of this. There is a way forward. But we need Marvel and DC to do something they're probably not willing to do. And that is reduce title count. Reduce title count, make your comics cheaper, make your comics returnable, and set a solid social media policy and shut every one of your creators up. Like the only thing your creators are allowed to say if they want to work at Marvel and DC is, check out my book. It's awesome. That's it. I don't want to hear what they think. I don't give a shit what they think of the weather. Okay. Just tell me about your comic book for a little while. Why don't we put a moratorium on it? Just a moratorium. Can we agree on a year? On a year of nothing but look at my book. It's awesome. And then you know what? Would it kill an artist to maybe pick, I know you don't want to play favorites, but every time you promote, have a different artist, just shout out a couple of comic shops and make it random. Just make it whatever shops the artist knows, or maybe his buddy's shop or something like that. And yes, shops will complain, why don't I get shout out? Well, get yourself shout out. You got to go out and do that. Don't rely on other people. Joshua Trammell for $49.99. Wow. Joshua, thank you. He says, hey, you're awesome. Keep up the awesome content. Stay safe out there. I will. I went out in the public. I actually went to a store for the first time today, and I wore a mask. It felt weird. It felt really weird. But I wore a bandana mask that I tied, and then I put my jacket over my face. Kind of like, I look like Chamber. From Generation X, except minus the energy coming out of my jacket. Anthony Pride for $5. I have never been called a power bottom ever, and I'm living in San Francisco. Anthony, yeah, that was pretty funny. He was being funny. Neither have I, and I live in San Francisco too. What's up, homeboy? How you doing, Anthony? Mike, by the way, if the kids out there at Pete's are watching, I miss you guys. I miss you guys a lot. It's killing me. Not going into my Pete's every day. You freaking first world problems though. Michael Henley for $11. Those power bottom girls they make the rock and world go round, says Michael Henley. Yes, they do. They do. God bless them. Oh, Az is here too. Look at Az. It's his last speech before the comic shop closes. Wife is at home packing up to leave with her Comics Gate boyfriend and taking dog with her. He's panicking, says TC the Mandalorian. TC, you're harsh, man. His wife, I think his wife was one of the, maybe it was just an employee who was standing next to him. Yes, there was desperation in that. Absolutely. They're desperate. I've been there. Oh, I've been there. But he did it anyway. F it. I look desperate. I look scared. And I did it anyway. Because this is it. This is it. And the reality is setting in. Believe me. Why do you think Donny Cates called EVS? I mean, why do you think he even called him? Because the reality is setting in. We have Sean Gordon Murphy. He did a video. Nothing bad to say about Sean Gordon Murphy. I think he's a great artist. I think he's a good guy. He had to bend the knee a little bit. It was a bad look, but I can't judge him for making that decision. It's his professional career to worry about. Honestly, I said it yesterday. Sean Gordon Murphy is a rock star. He doesn't need to bend the knee to anyone. DC needs him more than he needs DC. And he needs to kind of take that attitude. He looks like a humble guy, and that's good. But once in a while, a humble guy's got to pull rank a little bit, especially when it'll help out other people and it'll help the industry and it'll help customers. But he's going to do some crowdfunding, a crowdfunding book that I will buy. I will absolutely buy, sight unseen, because I like that guy. And he's doing a video, and it was good. I mean, it wasn't great, but I mean, like, listen, he's doing something. He's got to go to landscape. And just up here and get a microphone. Everybody, get a microphone. Get a microphone. The echoey sound thing drives people crazy, drives me crazy. Get a microphone. You can get some for nothing. I mean, like, these are good starter microphones, but they don't kill the, I'm sorry, it's a Yeti. I'm trying to pull it over. They don't kill all the sound. This one is a couple $100, but it's worth it. It auto levels the sound and everything. So it's a Rode Podcaster, by the way, and it just plugs into the USB. It's not fancy. It's not XLR or anything. John Owen, thank you for the 20 pounds. And it just says thanks. No, thank you. Thank you, TC the Mandalorian. Thank you, Michael Henley. Thank you, John. Thank you, Anthony Pride. Thank you, Joshua Trammell, for the $50 super chat. I appreciate you. And look who's coming in here. As Heels versus Babyface. Please subscribe to Heels versus Babyface. If one of my mods could put the link in the chat, I would greatly appreciate it. I am subscribed to Heels versus Babyface. I endorse this channel. I endorse his rage and his humor. And he, you know what? You represent the Brits well, my friend. Yeah, it's a fucking Starbucks. I'm sorry. Desperate times. Desperate times. Sorry, Pete's, but desperate times. Daniel the One for $5. Gary, check your email for some possible monetary help for Mrs. Nerdrotic shop. Love all your work. Daniel the One. Oh, you didn't have to do that. Yeah, I will do that. I will do that. I'm going to check that trailer and I will do that before the end of the show. Thank you, Daniel the One. Bless your heart. Matt G for $1.49 sends a Nerdicorn. Thank you for the Nerdicorn, Matt G. It's always good to see you here. Colm Koss for £2. I spend all my day with you. Will you marry me? I'm taken. Now, I have to ask, well, you're in the UK, so maybe it's different in another continent. Sure. I mean, as long as it's platonic, I'm okay with that. Why not? Thank you. Thank you. I am taken though. Caesar Sose for $1.99. What? You get a super chat like that and you're all, what? No. Caesar Sose for $1.99. What's your take on the America Chavez controversy? Her big old ass, her trunk, her badunkadunk. I like a good badunkadunk. I like big butts and I cannot lie. That's my take on it. No, America Chavez is a crappy book, especially when it's written by that author who I'm blanking on her name now, fortunately, who just wanted to inject it, who made it an autobiographical tale. I mean, I'm sorry, but half the alternative press expo books out there are autobiographies. All right. They're whimsical tales about a nerd who's been a shut-in his or her entire life. And you want me to read an autobiography? You want me to read about that? Like that you're lonely? And yeah, I was too. So she's just an alternative press expo writer who was up-jumped because of identity politics. And they gave her a book. And America Chavez is the daughter of two women from another dimension. And what was she called again? A portal puncher? A something portal puncher. Help me out in the chat. What was she called? She was called a something portal puncher. And it was pretty funny. Dana Smarts for £4.99. How about starting a crowdfund page for BC stores? I'm British and I'll give. Yeah, why not? I think we could do that. Dana, I will keep that in mind. I will get with other content creators and see if we can start something like that. We are planning something. I'm going to straight out say it. I'm planning something. So that big lame ass talk show event that they're going to do on April 18th with Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Fallon, and they're all going to do like a telethon to raise awareness. And yeah, we're going to plan some counter programming with that. The plan I would like is it doesn't have to be on my channel. We could spread it across other channels, but I want to get everyone, and I mean everyone, absolutely everyone, to live stream that night. I want Drinker, Mahler, Jeremy, Jeff, EVS, yours truly, Doomcock, everyone. Sporking News Podcast, freaking Razor Fist if he wants to come. I'll ask people I don't know. I'll ask big YouTubers, and let's see if we can do it. And maybe we can make that part of it. I'm just spitballing here. I don't know if I can get any of this done. I don't know if anybody wants to be part of it, so I don't mean to. The names I'm mentioning are people I would like to, but I don't want to commit them or anything. Yeah, sometimes, I'm a live streamer. I diarrhea of the mouth sometimes. That's what my dad used to say. If he was alive to see me now. Sooner Mitch for $5. I broke out the Lord of the Rings extended Blu-ray after hearing you talk about it the other day. Amazing how it still holds up 20 years later. Yes, it does. It is just the greatest trilogy of all times. It's better than Star Wars. It's based on a better story. Star Wars is still good. I mean, the original trilogy is still good. The Hobbit trilogy is better than the prequel trilogy. Yeah, everything about it's better. Melissa R for $5. Hey, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, I can't recommend it enough. If you want some good lockdown viewing, break out your Blu-ray special edition. It's affordable on Amazon right now. I think it's like $60. Or just, rent it. That's fine. Melissa R for $5. Hail Gary, thanks for highlighting VOC schools in a previous live stream. It's nice to see people finally paying attention to career and tech education. Yes, vocational schools. Absolutely, Melissa R. They're going to be more important now than ever. And I know you are having a hard time fill those. And I know in the UK, they were trying to, there's a Dave Cullen video on it, but they were basically injecting identity politics into vocational schools, which is ridiculous. We're going to need them now more than ever because we're going to start producing more stuff here. No matter what happens out of this economy, let's just say we're not going to have the best relationship with that country that this thing came from. So we're going to start making our own shit again for a little while. I don't know. You're going to need vocational schools. We're going to need engineers. We're going to need mechanics. Like now. And now's a good time to find an online one or anything. Thank God I knew a trade. Sorry to get all personal on this, but like the first time I got sober out of the thralls of alcoholism and addiction, I was 23. I had been kicked out of 3 high schools. I had no skills, 0. I was looking at a very bleak life. So I got a job, and fortunately I fell into something where I got a skill. I found a skill. So I fell into the auto industry. I learned how to work on cars. I learned how and then I went into parts. And now if I need a job, I can go get a job. With that skill, I can get a job anywhere. I can get a job in any country with that job. And I'm really grateful I had it. I loved it for the longest time. It was a great job to have in the 90s, and it supported my first wife and I, and I was able to buy my first condo selling auto parts, and I was the happiest dude in the world. I was so grateful because I didn't forget that 10 years earlier, I was looking down like I didn't know what to do. I wasn't going to go. I wasn't good at school. What the hell am I going to do with my life? I got that skill. Thank God I have it. And you know what? I might need it again. So when I sold my comic shop, that's what I went back and did. I had to. And I started at the bottom. I went to an O'Reilly's Auto Parts and got a job there, and then worked my way up to another shop that was terrible. That was filled with actual real, believe it or not, ists. Like real ones. It was weird. It was weird here in San Francisco too. But complete a-hole. So I left and I went to a dealership, and it was great. And And then I was able to do this. I was able to quit a job at Tesla to do this. I was working at Tesla. And it was a good job. Wasn't happy with a lot of things, but it was more in my life. And things worked out great. Things worked out great because of that skill. And you can be any age and learn it. And honestly, if you're women, the auto industry is dying for female technicians. They're dying for technicians. They need auto technicians. There's not enough of them. And if you get good here in the Bay Area, you're making $150,000, $200,000 a year. If you're working on Teslas and you're good, you're making $100,000 a year. If you're working on Toyotas and you're good, you're making over $100,000 a year. And you can learn it in a couple of years. You can apprentice, be an assistant, whatever, change. Yeah, it's back-breaking, ball-busting work. And you can only do it for a certain amount of time because there's not a lot of old mechanics, but they need them bad right now. So, yeah, it's a good job to learn. Make a lot of money. Do it for 10 years, save your money, and you can retire. Thank you, Melissa R. I'm happy to talk about that stuff. That's an industry I was in. And yeah, Tesla was offering to train and everything. And it's not even that hard. A Tesla it's an electric car. So there's brakes, there's tires, there's a big ass battery on the bottom, and you're changing door handles. You're doing a lot of body work on them, which is weird. The Fixer 1 for £2. Love Dark Horse, Aliens, and Terminator comics. They were some of the best. Alien vs. Predator was one of the first comics to do digital coloring, and that was done out of San Diego. Dark Horse kind of stems from Pacific Comics. If y'all remember Pacific Comics, that's where Elric started and the Rocketeer. Some Nobody for $2. We'll make sure comics live. Sad for the shops, though. I am. I'm very angry at Marvel and DC for their treatment for the fans. I'm not hurt by it. I'm not hurt. I'm angry. And I'm angry that I don't have a industry to go back to, so I'm going to have to make it on my own with my comic shop, and I'm fine with that. But I'd like to sell new stuff. I'd like to spread the word of comic books and spread the love. There's not a lot of love in the industry, and you know what? Fans react. They simply react. The pot gets stirred by the creatives, and it gets signed off on by the Bob Igers, by the Joe Quesadas, by the Dan Buckleys of the world, by the Dan Didios of the world, by the Jim Lees of the world. Jim Lee's silence is deafening. Love Batman and the Spectre. Recently bought a crossover. To my horror, where did the writing go? Last time I bought a comic was in the early 2000s, and back then we had freaking Shakespeare, not one-liners like now. You're right, Grant. Thank you for the 140 Zardozes. The writing in the mid-aughts was great. What you have now, and it's best described by your boy Zach from Comics Matter, is this bastardized form of Whedon speak. Everybody wants to be quippy and cute, and you're making pop culture references within a comic book. And unless you're Joss Whedon, and I mean Joss Whedon from the 90s, do not try Whedon speak. Joss Whedon can't even do Joss Whedon anymore. He's completely lost his freaking mind. If I was to guess, it's the same thing I always guess. It's got to be drugs. Bird of Prey 5 for $1.99. Game over. He just says game over. For the comic book industry, it is. I don't know what we can save. But the heartbreaking thing is there's actual, as much as an asshole as Mark Waid and Dan Slott and Gail Simone are, I still think more about just the people who wanted to sell comic books and didn't want to deal with any of this garbage. And here we still have these MFers out there saying this stuff. It's like, guys, I'm talking to the comic book creators. Shut the hell up. Just shut the fuck up. Your lips are sealed. Do what the Go-Go says. Do what Belinda Carlisle says. Your lips are sealed. Just don't say a fucking word. I don't care what the customer says to you. You know what? That guy popping or that girl popping off to you, for one, we have no idea who it is. It could be your wife. But that might not be a paying customer, but your response to that person, I guarantee, will piss off a paying customer. So can we say it together? Because I know Gail Simone likes to talk like she's talking to a kindergarten class. Can we say it together, kids? Kids? It's best not to say anything at all. Yeah. And if they're going to keep doing it, like I know Mark Waid has a statement. I saw him Bleeding Cool. You want to read it? Let's read it. Let's read it together. Let's see if Bleeding Cool will crash my computer. By the way, read Bleeding Fool. Bleeding Fool, bounding into comics. Yes. Bleeding Cool. No. Rich Johnston is not a happy person. I'm going to have to apologetically take another sip of the Starbucks. I'm sorry. Hulk Hogan, just wrestle, dude. Don't say stuff like that. A message now, I haven't read this message. It might be good. It might be bad. I don't know. We're reading it for the first time together. Stories are important. In times like these, especially in times like these, narrative is an invaluable aid to let our minds relax and our spirits soar. At Humanoids, we're putting the health and safety of our employees and partners first, but we're lucky enough to be working with passionate comic artists and writers the world over who are devoted to the value of entertainment. I don't think they'd put down their pencils even if we asked them. Though the thing that shall not be named has temporarily impacted our schedule, we aren't wasting any time to ensure that our future is filled with new stories that we can share with you as soon as possible. These are I'm going to inject here. So these are stories that are reminding us how we're all a bunch of istonphobes and how bad the world is. Those stories, the stories that couldn't even sell 1,000 comic books. Those stories, Mark? Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you guys will put your pencils down even if nobody's buying your books. We are actively working with creators, guaranteeing that previously announced projects arrive while signing new projects. But to ensure the safety and prosperity of our creative community, retail peers and staff, Humanoids will be taking a short break in releasing new material. We'll be back later this summer with books to amaze and astound. See you then. Please see updated schedule below for more details. Mark Waid. So, we're not putting pencils down, but we're going to stop making stuff for a little while. Okay. All right. Mark, Humanoids, if you guys weren't aware, Humanoids is a publisher. It's a French and American operation. It has John Cassaday, who's a great artist. I met John Cassaday. Mark Waid was a great writer, and now he's a filthy human being who has tried to keep independent comic creators out of comic shops. He has flexed his muscle to do that. Mark Waid is what you call a lifer, and it's one of the biggest problems in this industry. I love the lifers in this. I mean, lifer retailer, lifer writer, lifer artist, people who have never known anything other in their life than drawing, selling comic books, or writing comic books. The industry needs them, but it also needs people with an outside perspective who can take a look once in a while, take a personal inventory and go, maybe we shouldn't do the thing that we've been doing for 20 years because it's not growing our industry. I don't know. That's just a thought off the top of my head. But it's the lifers who have been kind of keeping everything down. Crabs in a bucket, crabs in a barrel. Is that the crabs in a barrel, crabs in a bucket? That's the analogy. That's what a lot of that is. Mark Waid is not an answer, not anybody we want to hear from. So his publishing company, Humanoids, one book recently only sold 800 copies in the entire United States of America with 331 million people. 831 copies. I think those pencils were going down anyway. Call it a guess. I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I being a little hard on Mark Waid? If Diamond doesn't support the shops, to whom will they distribute when the emergency is over? Richard Coleman for £5. Diamond will probably go out of business or become a distributor for some chain or something. Richard, I'm not sure. I would just see them folding. It's a possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen. They might fire back up. I mean, there's probably a good chance that'll happen, but there's a lot of finality that we're seeing here. And frankly, if this thing goes into August, okay, if we're locked down through August, I mean, I hope the hell not. I'll save my opinion on that for the Exozone, but just hypothetical, nobody's making it through that. Nobody, unless you are independently rich or Midtown Comics or, Brian Hibbs and you're paranoid and you've been planning for this stuff anyway, which, I hope every business, every person, believe me, I'm going to change. There's no way I'm not going to have a bunch of food ready to go. Now I had a little bit always because of the earthquake stuff here, always, but it's going to be much more. And if I own a business again, believe me, it's going to be like, sometimes I would have enough in my bank to pay 3 months worth of rent. Sometimes I didn't. I'll never let that happen again. And I won't let that happen with my mortgage again either. That's just a personal lesson. So hopefully the bigger businesses do that as well. Instead of like, I'm going to bring it up again. I'm going to bring it up every damn live stream because it's just ridiculous. Disney had a board meeting where they spent half of it on diversity. I don't think they spent a second of it on crisis management or something like this. What happens in case of emergency? What if a meteor falls on Disneyland? I mean, problem being, for £1.99, Bree, Ezra, Amber, new social injustice warriors, new and old. Yes, Miss Turd and Ezra. Yeah, I want to talk about that for just a second. Because it's in the title. Has anybody, let me know in the chat, but has anybody heard anything from Ezra Miller? Have we heard anything from Warner Brothers? It's been a couple of days. Again, if it was you, if it was me, if it was Johnny Depp, if it was somebody who was not part of the alphabet community, they'd be fired by now, right? They would be canceled. Roseanne Barr made a bad joke on Twitter. She was canceled. She had the #1 show in the world, in America. I don't know about the world, but in America. Ezra Miller still has a job. How? Now, hopefully, I don't want anybody canceled, but I want some consistency out there too. It just exposes the hypocrisy. And that's it. Amber Turd and Ezra Miller are both part of the alphabet community, and that's why they're not being fired. Because they know, both of them will say, you're firing me because I'm part of the alphabet community. And you know what? People in the alphabet community hate that shit too, because it makes everybody look bad. And you know what? The people afraid to fire people who should be fired, I mean, you have every right to do it. You shouldn't be afraid. You shouldn't be intimidated to that shit. Now, also, you should also give people second chances and stuff. Depends on what they did. I think a bad joke, I think you should rehire somebody over a bad joke. I do. Physical violence against somebody, there's got to be some, you got to make some amends there. Show that you're better. And it's up to the victim of the violence too. It is. Adriana Escobar for $10. Thank you very much for the $10. No statement, but thank you. I appreciate it. No, Ezra Miller, I didn't like him. I didn't like his Flash. It was terrible. And I hope it gets recast. I really do. I do. You know what? I would, nah. I mean, the CW shows suck. We'll get a new Flash. Never mind. Jer Hermy for $2. Out of toilet paper. Use the new Warriors? There's the rub. Yeah, you would be infecting your bottom with the new Warriors. Is it a safe space down there, Jer Hermy? Especially with you. I don't know. I'm not so sure. Brian McCann for $5. Nerdrotic. Read the 2014 Deathlock comic. Henry Hayes is new Deathlock. Very good series. I have read that, and it is pretty damn good. And Brian, I love Deathlock. It's one of my favorite characters. It was such a weird character, and it's a precursor kind of to the Terminator a little bit, They almost did a good job with him in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Almost. It's been a while since I read that, but yeah, I've got it. Anything Deathlock comes out, I get it. The beard deserves a tip, says Robert Libido for Levito, not Libido, Levitos. Sorry, Robert Libido, for $10. Thank you. I'll give it a little comb. Southeastern Kaiju, it's $1.49. Thank you, Southeastern Kaiju. I appreciate it. He sends me a star, a glowing star. You get a gold star, and you get a gold star. God dang it. I don't want to go back to Bleeding Cool. I'm going to go back to Screen Rant. We're going to hit that in a second here, folks. I just see Star Trek Picard articles, and it's like, I don't know how anybody could have liked that. Oh my God. Is Cusack going all 5G conspiracy on us? That's interesting. Cusack is strange. But I do like him as an actor. But he is a strange cat. Oh, there's an article that Star Trek Picard and Discovery cast unite for a hopeful message. Yeah, too bad they couldn't do that within their shows. Oh, should I read that article instead? Yeah. Oh, hang on. I got to get 2 articles up now. There's a Doctor Who article, and now we have Screen Rant. Prepare for the shill, ladies and gentlemen. Prepare for the shill. Gotham High offers fresh new take on Batman mythos and relationships. Zibbity-doo-dow, yeah! DC Comics' young adult graphic novel, Gotham High, offers a completely fresh take on the Batman mythos and relationships. There have been many different takes on Batman and the mythos surrounding the popular DC character. However, a new young adult graphic novel is shaking up the previous convention while adding worthwhile layers to the complex relationship between Bruce Wayne, Selina Kyle, and Jack Napier, aka the Joker. How is there a complex relationship between 3 that have never had a relationship before? Gotham High is part of DC Comics' excellent line of young adult graphic. Dude, okay, who wrote this? Liam, do you have any self-respect? Liam McGuire.
Here's what I found on the web.
Oh, man. Google has something to say about it. My phone started fucking talking to me. Dude, I want you to go in your pants and check and see if you got some huevos down there, buddy. It sounds like the DC marketing department wrote this for you. Gotham High is part of a DC Comics excellent line of young adult graphic novels that have offered completely new takes on popular characters. Previous highlights include Harley Quinn, Breaking Glass by Mariko Tamaki, and Steve Pugh's Teen Titans Raven by Cami Garcia and Gabriel Piccolo. and Shadow of the Batgirl by Sarah Kahn and Nicola Go. Yeah, this is written by their marketing department. I have nothing to say other, but I'm going to review this. I promise you I will review this. I'm not going to give them any more time of day. Fuck this shit. Enough. It's bad enough watching this crap go on. That'll save comic shops. That'll do it. I think comic shops are saved. Thanks, DC. Well done. Fucking A. Oh. The fact that they release this now is a joke. Is a goddamn joke. Flavius Alicanther is a member at the protomolecule level. Thank you, Flavius Alicanther. A Crazy Cat Guy for $10. You're a good man for helping that shop. Thanks for producing great content that's helping us all get through this difficult time. What time will Friday Night Tights be on? It's at TBA on your site. I will announce that tomorrow because I need to get with everybody because the polls have been completed and I have to talk to the co-hosts. I am considering bringing on another permanent member and we'll see how that works out. I'll let you all know tomorrow. Peter Cimetti's going to be on 10 a.m. tomorrow. The Nooner will be at a special time. Lady Gravemaster for $5. Hey, Gary, did you get a chance to read my email? Would appreciate any feedback. Also, what are your opinions if AMC and Disney would merge? Oh, that couldn't do that. How would that happen? A studio owning a theater chain. I think there will be lots of skullduggery. I think every single Disney movie would be number one at the box office. They need to do something to save the theaters. I think AMC going to bankruptcy. I'll check out I haven't read your email yet, but I will read it, Lady Gravemaster. Thank you for sending it. I appreciate you. Yeah, Disney and AMC merging. I mean, I guess it could happen. I don't know if Disney's in the position to buy anything right now. But Amazon I don't know. I just don't think you can make a lot of money in theaters. It's a dying industry. It's still going to be around. It's too soon to get rid of them now. It is too soon, but in 10 years, they're not even going to be necessary anymore. Mr. Gentleman for $2. Hi, Cancel learned Shaban is your alt universe self. He is? Oh, is Michael Chabon mirror Gary? Hello, I'm Michael Chabon. Ugh. Darth Gorbag is a member at the Geloja level. Thank you, Darth Gorbag. Welcome. I appreciate it. Dana Smarts for $4.99. Tell us how to become members. Please remember that I've just learned to program my Betamax. $1.49 as you cheap northern. You can become a member if you go to my main page. Next to the subscription button, it says join. Some Macs don't show it, like on iPhones and stuff like that. But yeah, you can do it that way. Doc Martin's boots. Hail, Doc Martin here. Huge Doctor Who fan. Excellent. I'm a Dr. Martin fan as well. That's what I wear. Dr. Martens. And I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. Welcome. We're going to go over that article in just a bit. And yes, we are announcing the winner towards the end of the live stream today. I can't do a 3-hour live stream today, unfortunately. So, but we'll go for a little while longer. Neuromancer. I'm also going to announce it on Twitter too. And I will put it on the Facebook group. I have a Facebook group and a Facebook page. It'll be everywhere. On Instagram too. I got an Instagram. Instagram.com/Nerdrotic. If you do follow me on Instagram, you can win stuff on Swag Sunday. Mrs. Nerdrotic handles that. Right now we have some beanies we're going to give away, I think. Neuromancer 9K is a member at the protomolecule level. Welcome. Thank you. Typo Negative, $1.99. Spoiler alert. I didn't spoil anything yet. Jody Bowie for $5. Hail, Gary. Watching the live while I make dinner. Enchiladas tonight. Keep up the good work. Oh, I love enchiladas. Mexican food is the food of the gods. Food of the gods. It just jumped on me. Un momento. There we go. There's Jody. Mr. Roboto, why doesn't Marvel not buy into their own comic shops? You know, they did consider that, Mr. Roboto. in the Perlman days, they were considering doing Marvel shops like Disney shops and selling exclusive Marvel. That has been bandied about. There have been comic shop owners who have offered to be exclusive this and that store before in the past. Retail is tough. It's razor thin margins. The only way you can make money in retail is basically being a sole proprietor with maybe one employee. When I open my shop, it will be me and my son. And that's why I'm opening. It's for my son. So my son, my youngest, is the greatest kid in the world, obviously, because he's my kid. And I love him. And he has, I hate to say little bit, but a bit of the Asperger's. Okay, he's on the spectrum. Love him. And I want to make sure he has something to work at just in case. You never know. I mean, but he's developing like really good. And the one good thing I got to say about the San Francisco schools, the one good thing before junior high, the elementary schools are top notch with the special needs. Freaking top notch. Great. There was a point where they didn't think Nerdrotic Jr. could read. He reads great. He reads better than me. His math is better than me. So everything is, and it's because of that program. So, but as soon as they hit high school here, it goes to shit. So, Nerdrotic Jr., I want him to have something, and that's what that's for. That shop is for him. Plus, he's a giant nerd. I made a giant nerd. Now he's a DC fan more than he's a Marvel fan. That's cool. I like that. He loves the DC Universe streaming service. He's on it all the time. His comic knowledge is top notch. I mean, he knows a lot. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. So I want to make it for him. And he's pissed off what's going on with Marvel. He's just as mad. He found your boy Zach without me telling. He found Midnight's Edge, your boy Zach, and World Class Bullshitters. And I had not told them that I know two of those three. Well, I've talked to Zach a couple times via email, and he found him on his own. So yeah, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. Heels versus Babyface. Mr. Oh yeah, Batman. He's a big Batman fan. And because I had a conversation with Az, I went and I dug out my Nightfall run, which I haven't read since, God, Az, if you're out there, I haven't read that since maybe 97, 96. And I'm going to read that whole thing again. Because the way he talked it up, I'm like, I missed that story. I loved it. People didn't like it. Some people didn't like it. I loved it. I freaking loved it. Joshua Trammell for $9.99. Did you ever like Jonah Hex? Yes. I had all the original comics and the spin-off Hex, but they all got lost when they moved. Midway through high school, I was devastated. Well, you know what? Those are actually affordable back issues. You could probably find a full run on eBay for a decent price, especially now. Hey, I mean, I have this, but, I found a run of, Crisis on, Infinite Earths I mean, this has everything, and it's got the crossovers too. Even the Red Sky crossover, $45. $45. Just boom. Got it. So yeah, go look at Jonah Hex is great. No, I love Jonah Hex. I didn't like the movie, but I love the character. Absolutely love the character. I wanted to like the movie. I did. I think Jonah Hex is a great character. That's the kind of stuff I like. I like the weird horror cross genre stuff. I like Deathlock. I like Warlock. I like Brother Voodoo. I like the weird Scarecrow character from Marvel, the one that came out of a painting. I like all that shit. I love it. It's the best. Son of Satan. Son of Satan. Hey, Gary, when Steve Jobs came back to save Apple, he canceled all the failing product lines and focused the company on making product customers would love. Look at Apple now. Exactly. You need a Jim Shooter type of person to come back to Marvel, kick some ass, fire redundancies, do the redundancies, right? And get rid of some freaking bad talent, which it's filled with. You know what? Keep Donny Cates. He's a good writer. He's a good writer. And make some good comic books. Make less comic books, fewer titles, higher quality, cheaper price, fully returnable. Show the comic book shops you give a shit about them. You can afford it, giant billion-dollar corporation. You can. It's in your best interest to keep comic shops going. Now, you can't save everyone. That sucks, but you can't. That's a good point. I just don't think Marvel and DC and AT&T, they were thinking about getting rid of them. At least AT&T was thinking about getting rid of DC before this. Matthew Trump for $1.99. Prologue of Fellowship has material for 50 series. It does. It absolutely does. And if it's done right and it's not done all woke and garbage like, I would take my money. I would watch it, review it, damn near dedicate my channel to it. John Zeller for $10. Hi, Gary. Congrats on your 6 years sober and thanks for what you do. Keep up the great work. Thank you, John, for the $10. I appreciate that. 6 years, yes. And very happy to be clean and sober today and wake up and I get to be sober and I get to call my sponsor and I say a little prayer before I go to bed. I say the Serenity Prayer. It's right here. My mom got me this on this necklace. That's what this chain is. It's the Serenity Prayer. Permanent oil capsule for $2. Mr. Beak, received any Blu-rays from the UK lately? I believe I have. We went to the P.O. box yesterday, Peppermint Oil. I want you to keep an eye out for a toxic mailbag on Nerdrotic Live tomorrow. Cheers, Peppermint Oil capsule. I adore you. Martino Srumoni for 100 Chilean pesos. Work on classic cars. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. That'll make you will make ridiculous money doing that. That's a specialized industry and it's easier. It's actually easier. Today's cars, you need to have your iPad. You need to plug in a USB and it'll tell you what's wrong. And there's wires. Just everything is electronic. Back in the old days, it was simple. I'm seeing AT&T is starting to cut the fat at DC Comics. Crunchyroll and Rooster Teeth. Is this a sign that it might be the end of the SJW crap at these places? Cesario JPN for $5. It could be. We got to see who they let go. You're not going to see layoffs or anything permanently shuttered right now. I think that's going to be later in the year, but you will hear about it. Pay attention to certain people's Twitter and Facebook. And if you see them tweeting a lot more, you'll know. Kind of like the Lord of the Rings writers situation. They should be in New Zealand or before the thing happened. They should have been in New Zealand writing Lord of the Rings, but they were in America tweeting. So I wonder if they really did get fired, and apparently they did. Gunnar Rene Oe for 5 Norwegian krona, and he just gives me a little cat who's kind of punching like this. All right, cool. Keith Smith for £2. What do you think of the Buffy comics? I'm going to ask you a question. Which ones? The ones that were out during the series or the series that came out after, which is season 8, season 9, season 10. I'm a huge fan of property comics. I'm a dork. All right. So, TV property comics. I loved all the Buffy comics, all the side comics. I really like seasons 7 and 8 or 8 and 9, 10 got a little weird. It got a little weird. The Angel comics were decent, but the art wasn't good. IDW's art sucks for the most part. Sorry. They got it on really nice paper, really nice stock, and it's just blotchy art that I don't like. But the Dark Horse shit was good. The Dark Horse Buffy, and you can get a big hardcover of that for like $30. It's Dark Horse does good stuff. Listen, one of the best things they do is these. These are badass. And they are, I wanted to say they're super cheap. Yeah, this is $40. I bet you get it on Amazon for $30. And it's a hardcover. And look at how freaking, these are sweet these are. And they do one for Buffy too. But these Avatar ones are dope. So, and they're right there. I love Dark Horse. I fully endorse Dark Horse comics. They are one of the best. And plus, Hellboy is probably the best fantasy series in comics ever. Yeah, I'd say it is. Tolkien, greatest writer of the 20th century. Enough canon material to prologue for Fellowship of the Ring to make 50 series at least. Matthew Trump, $4.99. I agree with you again. I absolutely agree with you. The Second Age has enough to make, you can make television till the end of time. End of time. There's so many great concepts in there. The problem is, Matthew Trump, is you can't mess with Lord of the Rings. And it does keep you from writing certain things certain ways, which is good. It keeps the show from getting completely woke. Now, they can sneak it in. They did it with Legolas in The Hobbit. They cucked him out. Made me mad. It made me mad. Problem being, for $1.99, Miss Turd, new power is AM2 is link. Okay. Miss Turd's new power is aim to be linking logs. I know you're trying to be cute there, but yeah, I can't say her name. If you say her name, you're demonetized immediately. But thank you, problem being. Emperor Billy Ritchie. I'm sorry I butchered that. Have you ever read Lady Makanisha? All story, no soy. Lady Makanisha. I have not, Emperor Billy Ritchie. I'll check it out. There we go. Darth D. JJD for $2. Comic stores should go online, be like vinyl. Yes, that was my plan, because I started seeing mom and pop bookshops pop up and vinyl shops pop up throughout the city for the last 10 years, and they're all doing well. They're still there. There's a vinyl shop in West Portal. West Portal eats comic shops alive. It looks like it's this part of the city that looks like a great place for comic shops, and they open a shop there, and they don't get any walk-through traffic because it's a bunch of old people who live over there. There's no kids or anything, and it's kind of, but the vinyl shop survives, and the vinyl shop now sells comics. So yeah, there's a way to do it. Do not rely on Diamond. It's like a drug. Getting hooked on Diamond. It's like a drug, because it does give you a big influx of cash every Wednesday, but it comes with so many strings attached and so much work. And now that the vast majority of new releases are not good and worth selling, and that's a reality. There are good, you know what? If you're ever in an era where you hear comic book fans or comic book retailers say, well, there are good comics, that means the vast majority of the new stuff sucks and it's not worth selling. So you can't rely on that. You can't be a news store shop. Now, I wouldn't steer too far away from comic books because I love comic books. So my toys would be based on comic books. And I would sell some hobby stuff, and I would do games, and I would have to hire somebody to do that because I know dick about magic or any of that stuff. I don't care. I'm a comic fan. I'm a comic book fan, and I like toys. So I know action figures, and I know comic books, and I could sell them all day long. I could sell vinyl. I could absolutely sell vinyl. I have sold vinyl. So, Mr. Roboto for $2. Has Snowflame time arrived in the DC universe? It has. It has. Man, my voice is starting to go, folks. I've been live streaming a lot. Hail Gary, I need a good laugh to. Sorry, I skipped one. My bad. Gunnar Renee Oy for 20 Swedish krona. Is this supposed to be Alfred? That is supposed to be the gay Alfred who has a husband named Mr. Pennyworth. There you go. There you go. The only white guy is Joker. Peter DeRosa for $4.99. Hail, Gary. I need a good laugh today. What would your porn star name be? Doomcock is already taken. Sorry. Well, porn star name is the street you grew up on and the name of your first dog. Now, okay. I need to, before I name the name of my first dog, I didn't name my first dog. And when my parents named my first dog, they did not do it with the intention of sounding like racist. I want to apologize in advance to all of my black friends out there because it was not my parents' intention to sound like they just named the dog after the color. The dog was black. Okay. It was a black cockapoo. This is why I hate doing my porn now. So it's a black cockapoo, Cocker Spaniel poodle. It was black. So they just named the dog Blackie. Okay. So if your porn star name is supposed to be the name of your first dog and the name of the street you grew up on, my porn star name will be Blackie Levante. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good porn star name. But wrong color. So yes, I grew up on Levante Street in Carlsbad, California. Was that a long-winded story or what? Thank you, Peter De La Rosa. The Legion of Reason for $5 Canadian. Bruce Wayne or is it Bruce Lee Wayne? Or would not even attend a high school. He'd be tutored. Yes. It's ridiculous. When we get out of this era, which we're out of, by the way, you're seeing the tail end of people being given jobs because they were able to put two sentences together and they weren't white. That's over with. You're now going to have to make good work. And I hope that the companies like Marvel and DC do their due diligence, because the reason things aren't inclusive and diverse in those companies, folks, you know the reason, is because they hire their friends. They're still hiring their friends. It's still a gatekeeping industry. There's no difference. So I hope they do their due diligence, go out in the world and find a young lady who knows how to write Star Trek comics, Star Wars comics, if she is the most qualified for the job. And she might be. You hire the best person for the job so you can sell the best product, so we can make a stronger industry to have more comic book shops who can hire more people that'll get more people into comic books, which in turn would get more people creating comic books, including Black people, Asian people, Mexican people, alphabet people, all kinds of people. So if more people are into your thing, more people will make your thing. I'm sorry, am I talking crazy talk right now? So best person for the job, making the best product, which makes the most money, which makes money for shops who can get bigger and hire more people and then get more people into comics. You hear the whole thing? You see how that fucking works? A rising tide lifts all boats. That tide isn't rising unless you got the best of the best. Don't care what the best of the best looks like. I don't care. That being said, Disney, Marvel, DC, AT&T need to do their due diligence in recruiting. Not just your buddy, okay? You need to go out into the world and find that diamond in the rough. Because that's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem. When you want to talk about people being, creatives being marginalized and stuff, is they aren't looking everywhere for the true talent, because there's talent absolutely everywhere. You know, hire a recruiter instead of waiting for people to come to you or submissions and all shit. You know, now, are you getting the best submissions, comic industry? Because when somebody could probably go out and, you know what, it's easier and better to start your own Indiegogo campaign and Kickstarter? Why would you put a portfolio together, wait in a line at Comic-Con to see if DC can pay you $25,000 a year? Who gives a shit? Make your own stuff. You'll make more money. So DC's not even getting the best. So they need to recruit now. They need to go out and find it. Or just die. I mean, that's your option. You could dick around, think things are going to be the way they were before, because they're not. They're not. So the sooner you come to the realization that the comic industry that you knew a month ago is dead and gone forever, the sooner you will be able to heal, make a plan, and start something new. This is it. This is your chance. It's actually an opportunity to make a better comic book industry. They're not going to. I mean, I'm saying this very passionate, but they're not going to fucking do it. They're going to go right back to their old ways. There'll be 27 fucking variants on a Captain Marvel #1, and shops will just keep falling. What's that saying? One door closes, another one opens. The comic industry is just going to open the same door and walk back through it. Fucking makes me mad. It might be time for Snowflame. Kevin McLaughlin, thank you for coming on to the Jaloja level. I appreciate you. Problem being for £1.99, the Jaker, Bree Wayne, and Feline Feminist Wokeman. Yes. Well, that's the next book. Problem being, that's the next book. The Fixer 1 for £2. Could you imagine if Netflix bought AMC? I actually could. That would be a giant middle finger to Hollywood. If Netflix does want to raise a giant middle finger to Hollywood, buy AMC. Oh yeah, because remember, they kept their movies out of theaters, or they weren't counting them for awards. I wonder how Steven Spielberg would like that. Yeah, all Hollywood royalty, Hollywood elite, be prepared to be kissing Silicon Valley's ass from now on, because Hollywood just moved north 500 miles. Yes, it did. Captain Palsy, welcome to the proto-molecule level. Etina Falado. I'm trying to figure out how to say this last name. Falada. Sorry, I'm just going to say Etina. Thank you. Welcome, Etina. Lars Leonhard for 50 Danish krona. Hail, please don't make the Friday night tights too late in the day. In the EU, and love to see you live. Rock on, mate. Love what you do. Best from Copenhagen. Yeah. Well, we're going to move the time up for sure. I just don't know how far up. The poll said 2 p.m. The last show was 2 p.m. And quite frankly, we had a lot of people watching. I had a lot of people watching yesterday too. And I have a lot of people watching today. It's been crazy. It's been great. Yesterday was, we had 3,500 people watching. That was nuts. And I think we had 3,700 watching on Friday. That is nuts. That is not usually what I get. So, I mean, Critical Drinker and Az bring the, their milkshake brings the boys to the yard. That's what I'm saying. Okay. But I will make it probably 2 or 3 p.m. But I got to talk to, Odin and Jeremy. I know Odin is for making it earlier because he goes to bed at 9 p.m. because he's an old man. But Orlando Bloom wants to play Joe Exotic in Tiger King movie. How crazy would that be? Adam Wolford for $5. Why do we need a movie? We saw everything. There's nothing left to the imagination, right? But that would be great. I like Orlando Bloom. I like Legolas. Adriana Escobar for $5. Batman and the Joker were transformed into simps. Yep. They should have just called it Simp High. Gotham Simps. Simp Man. The Simpser. Goose for $5 Australian. I think we should thank Marvel for giving us the new Warriors just when we're short of toilet paper. Exactly. Oh, I'm grateful that they announced that day. because I think a lot of good came out of it. I'm not joking. I believe, it is my belief, that people would have completely forgotten about the comic book shops right now. So, when I first heard, sorry if you heard this before, when I first heard that the lockdown was coming to San Francisco, which was the 12th of March, I did a live stream. And it's my first comic shop retailing live stream I've done in probably a year. Because the first thing I thought of was, the comic shops are dead. Holy shit. So I just started talking about it. I'm like, if I owned a comic shop right now, I'd be really worried. I'd be really, really worried, and they need to do something. So I did that live stream. And then Monday, they announced Safe Space and Snowflake. I didn't even know it. I was talking about the comic shops because I knew they were going to have to lock down. And I came across it because Bounding Into Comics posted that in my Facebook group. And I lost my shit. And I made a video. Other people made videos. And we got the awareness out there. And I think now that we've put a spotlight on this situation. And listen, the Access Media did. We did here on YouTube. Clownfish TV, EVS, Zach. A bunch of us did. I think it helped. I think it actually has helped. As much as people don't want to, you know what? Donnie Cates whining on Twitter or saying he's going to be fine. That didn't help. But I'm glad he made that tweet because I was able to make a video and other people were able to make a video. And so far with my 3 comic shop videos, well, no, 4, it's 4 now. Or is it 5? Like over 1 million people have seen those. Over 1 million people are now aware comic shops are in trouble. And that's not counting Clownfish's TV's video, which, 40, 50,000 per video. They've probably had 500,000 people see theirs. Maybe 1 million. They make more videos than I do. So maybe it's 1 million. They've been on top of it as much, if not more than I have. Your boy Zach has. Add another 500,000. There's a lot of awareness. It fucking helped. Because otherwise, Bleeding Cool would have written about it. They would have gone, another comic shop closed. I mean, it's really sad. And Donnie Cates would have been thinking about crowdfunding, and same with Sean Gordon Murphy. And they wouldn't give a shit about the comic book stores because they're fine. They're fine. They're not responsible to them. They're responsible to the publisher who hired them in Diamond. They're not responsible to you, the customer, or the comic shop owner at all. So fuck them. Well, now they're all in the same boat. And empathy and sympathy are starting to set in. And now, you know what? They want to get into the crowdfunding scene. And the crowdfunding scene has been fundamentally changed by your boy Zach and EVS. The crowdfunding scene has been around for a long time. It certainly has. But they changed it. They made it, they added a very necessary component, a platform. And not everybody can do that. And you're not going to get everything just given to you. Comic book writer and artist. Because you can crap out a few basic scripts for Batgirl, you're not worth your weight in gold anymore. Which is a lot, Gail. Nicholas Horton. When you get to Who part of the stream, we should check out the What Can't Be Named Dalek video on YouTube. I have a video I want to check out. We're going to get to that portion of the stream very, very soon before my voice gives out. I'll check that out next video, next live stream. I'm going to do another one, so I'll check it out, and maybe I'll put that in my video. According to Christie for $2, as is now known as Asbats, suggested by Mando Merc. Okay, Asbats, if that's what he wants to be called. Asbats. ZenFit VOD for $4.99. Polly here. Hi, hail Gary. Happy birthday. I'll be 5 years in August. I'm proud of you, brother. Frodo lives. Thank you. Keaton Smith for £2. Just bought Buffy Season 8 Volume 1 Library Edition. Good. You'll like it. It's very, very good. And the art's amazing. I have some original art from that book. I do. Grant Kelbrick for 35 Zardozes. I love the Darkness comic series by Top Cow. That's a good one. Silvestri's the shit. He's good. I think it was. Artwork was insane. So dark and gritty. You ever seen it? Yes. How would you reboot Buffy for TV? I wouldn't, Keaton Smith. I'd leave it alone. It's perfection. I'd bring the old cast back and continue it, but I would never reboot it. Never. Okay, I'd reboot it with a male lead, and his name would be Biffy. It would be Biff the Vampire Slayer. Biff the Vampire Slayer. Straight white male, Republican, Trump supporter. He has a Make America Great Again hat on, and he kills vampires. Yeah, that's what I would do. If you want to like flip the script on that one, that's what I'd do. It'd piss off a lot of people, but it'd be funny. Son of the Wolf for $2. My porn star name is Max Rang. That's funny. Christian Basil, $5. Hail Gary, Legend of the Traveling TARDIS radio show is on iHeartRadio. Hang on. It just jumped on me. I can't seem to watch series 11 and 12 again. Watching Capaldi to cleanse the palate. Yeah, I was going to do a season 12 review, Christian. I still might later on, but I can't watch it again. I'm having a very difficult time getting through this Picard review, so it'll be done by the weekend. And if it's good, it's not, because I just don't even give a crap anymore. But it's hard. Hey Gary, do you remember Captain Power? I do. For $2 Canadian, says Zero Duality. Leland for $7.77. He just gives a donation. Thank you, Leland. Remake the missing Doctor Who episodes. They're, well, yeah, you mean remake them? With, kind of like what they did with Family of Blood. They adapted an older novel with the 10th Doctor, a Target novel, right? So if they turn Doctor Who around and we get a new Doctor, or remake the missing episodes with like Matt Smith or David Tennant or Paul McGann, fuck yeah, that'd be awesome. Leland, thank you for the 777. Heather Banks, thank you for the $1.99. Stone Dog for $19.71 for $5. If Marvel wants the new Warriors to sell and be successful, they should print it on toilet paper. They should. I agree. It would sell out. It would absolutely sell out. All right, we're going to get to an article here. I can't put it off too long while my voice is. Why, Stephen? Why? Doctor Who, Jodie Whittaker tied to Stephen Moffat era and new short story. It's not canon, goddammit. A new Doctor Who story written by former showrunner Steve Martin stars none other than the first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker. Former showrunner Stephen Moffat has penned a Doctor Who short story featuring the first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker after a fashion. The thing that shall not be named may have brought the world screeching to a halt, but the Doctor Who fandom is refusing to stop traveling through time and space. Well, that's because they were left with the worst taste in their mouth, the taste of series destruction, the taste of the death of their series, hashtag RIP Doctor Who. Doctor Who Magazine's Emily Cook has been organizing mass rewatch events, and she's been working with writers and actors to produce original content in order to make them a real success. So far, she's been responsible for the release of an entertaining Centauran short video and unveiling the Russell T Davies original plans for the Time War, and enchanting animated retelling of companion Amy Pond's origin. The BBC has been delighted to get involved. I'm sure they have. Publishing some content as well as video with the Doctor responding to the you know what panic. That video sucked. I know some people think it's good. It wasn't. This is fandom at its best. Only encouraged by the BBC themselves. You know what? The BBC would have never have thought of this. They would have never have thought of this. But they want to hitch their wagon to this now.
The BBC website published another Doctor Who short story by former showrunner called The Terror of the Umpty Ums. This story is set inside a children's hospital and features Karpagnan, a savage alien who was apparently infiltrated Earth, but who has diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder. Oh my God. Oh, really? So an alien fell to Earth and it was diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder. Furious at how he's been treated, Crapgon, I'm just going to call it Crapgon, intends to escape and exact brutal revenge upon humanity. Fortunately for everyone else in the building, Crapgon data stream is interrupted by a very familiar voice. The first female doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, has hacked the systems and is attempting to persuade Karpagon to not to wreak havoc. For the first time, Moffat has written for the you-know-what, for the, I can't say her name, for the first female doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, and he captures her voice effectively. Some of the initial dialogue is off-putting, but soon it comes to grips with the character and her distinctive vocabulary. What's so distinctive? What's distinctive? So Stephen Moffat wrote a woke episode about somebody. It's about identity. I haven't read it. I'm not going to read it. I don't care. She observes... All right, including one particularly entertaining line where the first female doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, excitedly offers to help Karpgon escape. We're doing an escape, right? I'm top at escaping, she observes. Oh my God. Doctor Who is saved. Doctor Who is saved. Once again, let's hear that line. We're doing an escape, right? I'm top at escaping. But you're bottom at executing a good Doctor Who episode. Doctor Who is saved. Fuck that. Naturally, there's a twist at the end. This is a story written by Moffat, of course, after all, and it subtly reinterprets the entire story, surely prompting many readers to go back and read it again and again with the twist. I don't even care. I don't want to promote this crap. Moffat, were you forced to do this? Were you trying to do this? The Doctor Who fandom, I love how they say it's coming together. That's acknowledging that it's split. It's not coming together. You have Twitter. Twitter is your home base for the obnoxious Jodie bots. If you go outside of Twitter, there isn't a lot of love for Doctor Who. I'm in the United States of America, a country of 331 million people, and you can't get shit watching your show. You can't get 500,000 people watching your show that costs millions to make. It's done. You want to write a story, Moffat? Undo The Timeless Child. BBC, you want to do a story? You want fandom to get back together? Unmake The Timeless Child. Do it now, or you want to have a show. You might not have a show now. We don't know. But same shit. I mean, comic fans. Oh, you weren't even... Was I on the wrong thing? Oh, no. Okay, I was on the right thing. I just did it for a second. Now, let's see here. We're going to go down here. We have a video. I can't go over the whole thing, but I want to give you an idea of it. I will probably make a video on this. I certainly hope that... I got to put my headphones on back on. Hang on. I don't think they'll give me a copyright strike. And then we're going to announce the winner. All right, there we go. That's good. Now, somebody brought this to my attention like 3 weeks ago when it came out. I've had to do some stuff beforehand, but I am going to get to this. I'm going to make a video response to this. Now, it sounds like, hey, 5 reasons Doctor Who is in serious trouble. They're in agreement. No, they are part of the problem. And you'll see why. And again, we're not going to go over this whole video, just the beginning part. Okay, so here we go.
Doctor Who Series 12 is still fresh in our minds. Not necessarily in some happy, nostalgic way, but more of a where on earth do we go from here way. Series 12 did a lot to Doctor Who lore. Not all of it good. The Timeless Children fundamentally changed the entire lore of Gallifrey and of the character we know as the Doctor. So old Chibbers has a ton on his plate when it comes to season 13. We have Revolution of the Dark.
He fundamentally changed everything, so he's just got a ton to work. No, he didn't. He destroyed everything. Everything completely. There's no work to be done. His work is done. He's like, I'm done, little Chibi. That's my American Chibi voice. I can't do a British Chibi voice, but that's my Chibi voice. Sorry. Here we go.
Alex to get through first, but I'm almost certain none of the baggage we've picked up in the last series will carry on to this. They're just going to skip it and worry about it in season 13. Some are citing the decline of 1989 rearing its head once again, and there is evidence to prove that's not exactly a dumb correlation, but the show isn't completely dead yet. We are
Wrong in every sense of the word. Now, you're going to see a lot of, or hear a lot of talking out of both sides of your mouth. I don't know if you have that saying in the UK, but we have it here. Talking out of both sides of your mouth. A lot of YouTubers do that. You know who they are.
I'm hoping that all the questions and concerns raised over the last 2 series can be dealt with in due course, putting the show back on its once untouchable pedestal. Though I'm not convinced it's really fallen from grace as horrifically as some might say. Yes, liking the show does make me a real Who fan. Those of you who are watching this video hoping for some justification on your shitty opinions, please go elsewhere. Bye-bye.
That's a great way to start a video, isn't it? So here's the predicament they're in, and Marvel fans, I want you to recognize that. What was said right there is once the data comes in, once your show, once people reject your product, once people outright fucking reject your product, and you are backed into a corner, there's nothing else you can say. We start hearing, like with Star Wars, it was fan service. No, Star Wars is broken. It was broken by Rian Johnson, and everyone who was saying it for 2 years was called a Yahtzee and an ist and a phobe. And now you're coming to the realization that we were right, but you were calling us ist and phobes and Nazis. So now you can't associate with us anymore. So you got to think of some dumbass way to explain your way out of it. That was example A right there. You just saw talking out of both sides of your mouth. This story, I don't think it's completely dead yet. It's fucking dead. Stick a fork in it. It's dead. As dead as this comic book industry if it doesn't keep going. You guys, the woke, by the way, he follows up. We're going to follow up. He says that later in the video, and I'll get to it. But he says, I don't want to get into the PC woke stuff. Well, then you're being disingenuous, jackass. Because that's the problem with the show. Sorry. Listen, I hate to break some news here, but I'm not even a political person. So I'm not right wing as much as Mrs. TARDIS review said I was, but I'm not. I'm not part of an alt-right movement or Russian movement. I am just a dude with an opinion. I am not left wing. I'm not anything. I'm a political atheist. I like nerd shit, and I know when it's being preachy and it's being it's excluding people. It's not being inclusive at all. Quite the opposite. So when people completely reject your product and walk away and your ratings are rock bottom and your sales are rock bottom, listen, it's time to just say, okay, sorry. We tried. We stuck with it. We were wrong. would it be so hard? You would, the example, it gets brought out by a lot of YouTubers, Joel Schumacher, Sam Raimi. Why do people still like these guys and respect these guys? Because they came out and said, we made a shitty movie. Sorry. Argument over. Now, it won't be that simple with the Rian Johnsons and the Gail Simones and the Mark Wades, because you verbally attacked a lot of people with some pretty horrific statements for a long time. And you doubled and tripled and quadrupled down, and you don't think you're wrong. You are actually convinced that half of this country is the bad people from Germany. I mean, that makes you like psychotic and delusional, but you actually think that. And actually, I'm not surprised coming from a comic book writer and artist. Not the most adult of adults. That being said, once you have the data in the reality, it's time to just say, okay, if you want to fix your thing, if you don't want to fix your thing and you just want to destroy it because that's what I think the BBC's at. The BBC hates old Doctor Who so much they would rather see it destroyed than carried on in an incarnation that would work. Because this isn't Doctor Who anymore. It's not. You might be a fan of the words Doctor Who right next to each other, but this is not Doctor Who.
But I'm not going to stick my fingers in my ears and say the show is fine. It's not. There's a lot to talk about. I'm Rich, your go-to for Doctor Who from WhatCulture.com, and these are 5 reasons Doctor Who is in serious trouble.
Listicle
Number
videos.
5, there are too many loose ends, again. Something old Chibbers was disgustingly guilty of last series was opening a can of worms, then either pretending he never opened the worms or just shoved them up his arse. Yaz being a police officer and taking no authoritative stance. The water in the Ghost Monument being super deadly but proving no threat at all. The Doctor falling to the ground every 3 minutes in, the Saranga conundrum, but it having no detriment to the plot of the episode. Thankfully, Chibnall avoided these things throughout series.
So that was your go-to. Your go-to was the water in the Ghost Monument. The first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker falling down in the Saranga conundrum, blah, blah, whatever it's called. And Yaz, you didn't talk about arachnids in the UK. Not once. Not an entire environmental Orange Man Bad episode. You didn't talk about exploiting Rosa Parks with the dumb space races. That's what you went to. Yeah. So that's a little preview of the video, folks. Again, I don't have a ton of... I could go over... you know what? I kind of want to save that for a live stream where Az is joining me and maybe Bulls Trek, and we can all like break down that video together. I think that would be fun. That would be fun. All right. We're going to get to some more super chats, and then we are going to announce a winner. And remember, 10 a.m. tomorrow, so Peter Samedi can join us. Peter Samedi. And I don't know if there's going to be an Exozone or an Inquisition tomorrow, but there'll be one of the two. Probably Exozone. Edward Maidment for $2. Don't want his milkshake, but I love the drinker. We love the drinker. The Critical Drinker is top tier YouTuber. Great guy. Corpo for £2. 13th Doctor theme. Seriously, honor who you've been. Honor who you've been. Ugh. 30 Wolf for $10. Do you think if there are any documentaries about Bernie... Oh, do you know if there are any documentaries about Bernie Wrightson or any others on Comic Creatives? I've seen the Steve Rue doc on Amazon. Yes, there is one on Bernie Wrightson. I can't think of the name, though. Mark C., are you out there? You'll know. He's either in a documentary or it's about... I'm pretty sure it was about him. I've seen it. Maybe it was just a YouTube video. I can't remember. He only died a couple of years ago. Dude was genius. Absolute genius. Andrew Bomer for $9.99. Hail, Gary. Have a bit of cash for the amount of content that you've put out lately. Why, thank you. Thank you. You know, it's funny, Andrew, and I'm not mad at the person who said this. It's just funny. I put out a lot of stuff. I put out something twice a day now. It's not a video. It's usually a live stream, and I pop a live stream on Nerdrotic Live, and I put a bunch of stuff on my Patreon yesterday. So I put stuff everywhere. Somebody messaged Mrs. Nerdrotic and asked if I was okay because I haven't put out any content because they haven't seen a video because I only do like maybe 2 videos a week now because they're a lot of work. But that was funny. I was like, I've been 10 hours a day. I'm in this office 10 hours a day and I love it. Thank you. Thank you for providing this opportunity. I mean, I thank YouTube and I thank you for providing this opportunity that I'm trying not to squander and enjoying every day I can. I know it won't last forever. Nothing ever does. One day at a time. Thank you all. Modalicious. What other comics have the NPCs ruined? All of them, Modalicious. I mean, I don't think they've ruined Dark Horse. Image is ruined for the most part, which was the number 3 company I was fully behind at one point. I mean, I loved them. Marvel DC, Humanoids is ruined. Valiant is ruined. IDW is ruined. Dynamite's not ruined. Dynamite's good. Keaton Smith for 99 cents. Thank you. And he says, you're 100%. I'm 100%. Thank you very much. C-Tab 76 for $4.99. Your take on the Dalek Killer from Doctor Who Comics. Read an article on Facebook about him today. I will. Where is it? Is it just, is it on Facebook? I'll find it. I can Google it. Jeremy Joestar for $5. Yeah, that guy that also stopped like a game because the creators said something he didn't agree with. What culture needs to cut him loose? I mean, I don't want him canceled. I'm going to take on his argument. And I feel like I'm punching up, right? They have 1 million subs and I don't, so I'm fine. I talked a little trash about Star Wars Theory and Star Wars Explained yesterday. And, I'm blocked by one of them. I don't really watch them that much. I just know that they've said some not nice things about my friends. So I'm going to defend my friends. I don't care what they say. They don't even probably know I exist. So it's fine. It's fine. The parcel made it. Perfect tonic for Doctor Who grief, says peppermint oil capsule for £2. Yeah, the parcel is in my living room. It's in my living room. Thank you. Rebecca Gold for £20. The situation is terrible with Doctor Who. Let's get together and get a fan film done for real fans. If the fans can get behind and we can get more views than the Jodie cosplay version, that would be victory for us. Yes, if we get on YouTube and, if we could get more views than an American airing, I think that would be our goal, Rebecca Gold. So if we can make a Doctor Who fan film that gets 500,000 views, that's a victory. That's a massive victory. We'll see. I think you got to start low, but yeah, I'm behind this fan film project. Let's get through this thing that we're in, Ian, and we'll talk. We will most definitely talk because I'm behind it. The identitarian left all hate our intellectual properties because they offer hope and redemption. Nihilists like them cannot bear any joy or hope. It's anathema to them. Hope is anathema to them. Hope it's anathema to them. Yes. Flavius Alicanther for £5. They hate it. They hate it. You saw in my video, Kelly Sue DeConnick. Does she look like she loved? Did she talk about? By the way, go listen to what she has to say. Some stuff is not all bad, but what's missing is the passion and the love. You see, her brow is always furrowed. She's angry. She's fucking angry. When I'm talking about comic books, my eyebrows go up. unless I'm talking about creators. But when I'm talking about the books themselves, I love them. I fucking love them. They're endless entertainment. It's the best medium ever. Joseph Cohen is a member at the Gandalf level. Thank you, Joseph. Welcome. The Dr. 14 Blu-ray reviews for £5. Kids should not run in class president elections because we don't teach them politics. I agree. No, I don't agree with that. I don't know what that. The Dr. 14 Blu-ray reviews always has the weirdest and best super chats ever. Kids should learn. They should run for class president because I think kids should learn how to lose. Absolutely, they should run for class president. I disagree. The Gary Empire will live on forever, says JC for $5. Wow, that would be nice. A benevolent empire. You are free to do what you like, except try not to enjoy Star Trek Discovery and Doctor Who. Just try. All right, folks, my voice is dying right now. I am sorry. So it is time to announce our winner. Let me pull it up real quick. Hang on. All right. Give me just a second. Now, I have not notified this person. Okay? You're finding out about it here first. I probably should have notified him first, but I kind of do things fast and loose. So, I'm going to this person's website right now. And I do want to say to all of the comic shops who submitted, I'm going to respond to each and every one of your emails. And I wish I could help you all. And depending on how I got to do the count again, I mean, I could probably send everybody $100. I mean, it's just $100, but that might take care of a water bill or something. I got to see how much money I have, but I'll try to give you guys something. I feel bad. And we'll try to do another one. Again, I am not made of money. I wish I could pay all your rent for the rest of the year. I do. But I can't. So the winner, hang on, let me, I got to make sure I have another tab yet. Sorry. This is terrible. Sorry. Okay. The winner is Keith's Comics.